Hello. Welcome back to the BXR Podcast. We are probably the most consistent podcast on the internet, so I think our last episode was at the very start of the month as a bi-weekly podcast, so we're doing it, but we have a new fancy overlay, which is actually the only reason we're here today. Otherwise, we would have skipped this episode too. But it's going to be pretty fun. Today, we're basically going to deep dive into the PlayStation Showcase, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously there was a lot of games that they showed, and depending on how long that takes, there's a couple other topics we might hit, but yeah, we'll go from there. So let's just go through what were you guys' like overall impressions of the PlayStation Showcase. Jared, you can rock it first.
I would love to. Overall, there's a lot of really damn good games coming, and almost none of them are exclusive to PlayStation, which I like. Everyone's going to get to play these games, which is always a plus to me because the more people that can play these good games, the better. And I don't know, a lot of people kind of freaked out, like PlayStation's not showing enough exclusive games for the console, not giving people enough reason to buy their console. But you know what? I just bought a PS5 because Final Fantasy 16 comes out in a month. And I don't know, I think they've built enough goodwill to where they don't really have to show anything. What do they really need to do at this point? They're kind of like Nintendo. They can just go on cruise control for a while, take their time, get their stuff sorted out, even though it does look like they're having a few issues with a few games, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, mainly related to The Last of Us factions. But overall, I like the showcase. There are some games I'm really excited to talk about from the showcase, specifically Dragon's Dogma 2, but we'll get to that later. But I don't know. Overall, I thought it was good enough for what it was. I mean, not every showcase needs to be a big banger with a bunch of surprises. Sometimes it's just nice to see a bunch of good games that are on the way.
Yeah.
Even though there wasn't a lot of gameplay in a lot of these trailers.
I mean, that's par for the course for these types of shows, I feel like. I mean, if we actually got a lot of gameplay, I'd probably be more surprised than anything. I will say, this isn't like some unique take. It's pretty common sentiment I saw on the internet, but it seems like a lot of people, like PlayStation is kind of like, I don't know if it's doubling down, but they're going into that live service, games as a service trend that maybe they weren't as heavy into before. And there was definitely a lot of, I mean, there was still some heavy hitter, like single player type games in this. Obviously, like I assume Dragon's Dogma is probably mostly single player. The Spider-Man game, obviously, so stuff like that is like they still have their big hitter single player stuff, but they definitely announced, a fair amount of live servicey type games, especially from some of the smaller stuff too. Like obviously Marathon's going to be probably your biggest live service game. If I would recall correctly, but they also had a bunch of like smaller live servicey type games that we're going to be getting over the next year or so. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, like you said, I'm kind of happy that most of the games are coming to PC and Xbox, which is good for me because I don't own a PlayStation. And I probably won't pick one up. I do want to talk about that stupid PlayStation handheld thing, though, at some point, because, like, what the fuck is that? $300 so that I can stream fucking games. I can already stream them to my phone. You can do the same thing, and I could buy a controller for my phone.
PlayStation reinvented the Wii U, dude.
Just get a Steam Deck. They're great.
Yeah, so yeah, literally. So I don't know what the point of that hardware is unless they're just forgetting something. But yeah, Kevin, what did you think overall of the showcase?
I mean, I thought it was pretty good. Just it was just back to back, just showcase this game, showcase that game, bunch of trailers, some gameplay here and there and stuff like that. I mean, for me, the biggest announcement was definitely Marathon. That was just, even though that was like what that rumor was leaked out back in October of last year, right? When it was first leaked out that Bungie was making an extraction shooter of Marathon. But it was cool to see it actually happen. And I think to see it like conceptually was really cool. Just kind of like the vibes of the whole thing. Really, they didn't really, they obviously didn't show any gameplay. But next time we'll see gameplay, which will be awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Like I said, the Spider-Man showcase was really cool. No, I've never really played the Spider-Man games, but just like it just looked really cool, right? It's just like that whole entire sequence. I'm like, people made this, and it's like so intricately put together. When it comes like how it was like over the top, it was actually quite awesome.
Yeah.
And then I mean,
But-
I think also that with that, I'm also a little confused. So is that Metal Gear Solid Delta or something? That's going to be like 1, 2, and 3 remastered
Thank
or
you.
something?
Metal Gear
3
Solid
remastered.
Delta, like Snake Eater or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe
It's the
third
collection,
game
right? Or
first,
That's the third
right?
game.
Or
Metal
is
Gear
it the whole
Solid 3.
collection?
Wait,
Yeah,
it's the
they're, like,
first
going
3
in
games in the
reverse,
collection,
right?
though, right?
Yeah, because they were like,
No,
I think,
It's
The
it's
remake
the first
is
it's
Metal
the
Gear
first three
Solid
games.
3.
yeah.
It's
Oh, you're
it-
talking about the.
Oh, you talking about the collection or
You're talking about the
yeah.
collection of the old games.
okay.
The
You're
remake
right.
is just 3.
You're right. The remake
And
is
then-
3, but we're also getting the collection,
Oh.
which is the first 3.
Yeah.
But I
PS5,
think
yeah.
I think the remake is on everything, but the collection
It
is just
is.
on PlayStation.
It did say
Oh,
PlayStation, but I think I saw somewhere else it might be other platforms, so I'm not entirely sure on that.
I think it's coming to Xbox.
I hope it's
as
other
well,
platforms.
and PC. I could be wrong on that, but on the PC part.
Wait, so they're only remastering the third one?
Xbox.
or
As of now, people speculate they might do the other games, but
Yeah, I'm saying it's just
Yeah.
kind of being like a MCC H2A kind of situation where like Halo 2 gets the treatment, and all the other games are just like ports over.
right.
Where like Metal Gear Solid 3 is like the fancy new one, where the 1 and 2 are just kind of like,
well, it's
available
not
to
all
play.
one game. Like the 3 remake, the remaster, that's a separate game, and then them porting over MGS 1, 2, and 3, the old games, that's like a separate thing.
Okay. I see. I was saying I was a little confused about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because like they showed like the remastered whatever version of it, and then like
and that-
there's like, and here's the
Yeah.
other 3. I'm like, wait, what?
And that that collection of the old games, that's it says volume 1, so people are speculating in volume 2 MGS4 will be in there, and that'll be huge because right now you can only play MGS4 on PlayStation 3 unless you use an emulator or something like that. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was cool. But yeah, like, and then yeah, pretty much like that one. Like I've never played any of the Metal Gear Solid games, so that'd be cool if I get a chance to play like on PC or something. If the ports can actually handle being on PC, unlike Last of Us. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool showcase. It's just pretty straightforward. She gives us all the games, and yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still not buying a PlayStation, but it looked good.
No, I feel that. All right, Luke, what are your thoughts?
I mean, biggest announcement obviously was Marathon for me, and then obviously Metal Gear will be nice. Now that I know there's a remake of 3, that'll be very interesting as well.
Yep.
But I mean, besides that, I didn't care about all the indie stuff. I think that handheld thing is weird, like pointless. It's like e-waste already. And yeah, that's about it.
Did you guys
Spider-Man
see
looks
the
good, but I
battery
haven't
life
played him
for it?
yet.
It's
Sorry,
like
what?
3 hours, isn't it?
Oh,
or
sorry.
something?
Yeah, it's like 3 hours the battery life for the handheld.
That's it?
To
So-
be
Dude, the
fair,
Wii U had a better system. Like, what the hell?
I know.
dude, my Switch's battery life these days, I swear, is like 2 hours, but that might be because it's like a launch Switch.
You might,
Oh,
you
It
might
can be
need a
like
new
on his
battery.
last breath, like, please just put me to sleep.
Yeah, plug me in, please. All right, Popke, what do you think overall of the showcase?
Like there wasn't a ton that really interested me, but a lot of games don't really interest me at these game showcases. Because I don't play a lot of different games. But Marathon, Metal Gear Solid 3, like those were the two that interest me. And I didn't think the showcase was as bad as people were saying. Like I mentioned, not a lot really piqued my interest, but there's been past showcases where nothing has appealed to me. So at least this one, there was Marathon and Snake Eater, and I obviously really love Bungie games, and I love the Metal Gear Solid games, especially Snake Eater. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what those games are all about.
Yeah. All right. Well, in that case, we can just kind of jump in. I figured, we're not going to in like specific order, but we can just hit games that interested us and go from there. So I figure we can hit the one that probably caught all of our eyes first, and that's good old Bungo finally making another video game that isn't Destiny with Marathon. So I think, I mean, I'm personally like really excited about it. I know some people are upset about the art style because it's different than the game that came out in 1994 4 or something.
Yeah.
Which, like, I don't know, man. Like,
Has
True,
anyone
but
here
then-
played the marathon games?
no.
They're
I
so
have.
fucking
I've
People only
janky.
play the marathon games because they're like, well, I played Combat Evolved enough times. What else did Bungie do?
Yeah.
You
They're
mentioned how
so
it came out
janky.
in
But, like, I don't-
1994.
I
I
don't
think
get the
about how
complaint.
like Doom 1, you know, the original, that was really old, and then Doom 2016 still looked really Doom.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
it retained that style. This
Yeah.
does look very different. I think the art style looks good. I thought it looked really good, but it does look very different at the same time.
Well, I think it's also maybe a product of the era as well. I think at that time, back in the 90s, when you're making like adult themed shooter games, they all kind of like this really gritty, kind of almost like over the top bloody in a way, kind of starts
Yeah.
out to it. But even then, like after watching some like old gameplay, after like just being hyped up for the game, like, well, the game didn't really seem that gritty. Like it had an overall like dark color palette to it, but it didn't really seem like that gritty. You know, it wasn't as over the top as like Doom was or something like that at the
Yeah,
time.
I think just this new marathon looked really neon and
Mhm.
cyberpunky.
I think it
but
looked
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, no, it
But I think-
did. It looked good. I do like these visuals. It's just they do look very different than from the marathon from back in the day.
Yeah.
But
But
at the same time, like if you go back and play the old marathon games, if you look at the blood, if you look at the bullets from the weapons and just kind of the effects and stuff, they're all very neon colored, like bright
Mhm.
neon yellow blood and stuff like that.
yeah,
And you think of it, the game came from the 90s or it came out in the
Totally.
90s. Well, it's like a 90s retro cyberpunk type theme once you like break it down from that perspective. So it's like they're playing off of the fact that it came out in the 90s, but yet, sticking to the style in that sense, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Like,
The music definitely
that's why I
did.
think, yeah, exactly. The music kind of draws you into that 90s vibe. That kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say like club, but that's what it reminded me of.
Kind of synth wavy.
I did
Kinda
dig
like
the
Yes,
music.
exactly.
I mean,
My-
a
my-
lot of the marathon story was about like an AI going rampant and stuff, right? Or like this like battle with technology, right? And I feel like some of that vibe they have in the trailer, even. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like it
I mean,
looks
we
like an
just-
old IBM computer almost. I don't know how to explain.
Like an old Terminator movie almost.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, well, we just saw a reveal trailer. There might be tons of other things in this game that do look like the old marathon.
True.
But my thing is like, if it is going to be really different, if the visuals are going to be very different, and the overall style of the game is going to be very different, like maybe just make a different IP. I don't know how I feel about just reusing the name Marathon just because it's one of your old games, but I don't know. I
Yeah,
know it's in the same universe, but
I think like that might be the weirdest thing is like obviously the original marathon games were sci-fi Doom, with like a story to them obviously, but they were like that style of I don't know what you to these days I don't know what to call those, but like a boomer shooter. But like
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
it was very much that type of game, whereas obviously this is going to be an extraction shooter, so it's going to be like wildly different. So yeah, I don't know if it's like a little bit weird to kind of be reusing obviously the IP, but at the same time, like I don't know. When they brought Doom back, obviously, well, one, it hadn't been away as long, but they did bring it back as like I would say Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal are very much still like of the lineage of a Doom game, whereas I think this, I mean, granted, we haven't seen gameplay. Maybe it'll be more reminiscent of that. Maybe they've kind of rehashed maybe some of those ideas into the extraction shooter genre. We don't really know, but as of right now, it kind of just seems like they took the IP and slapped it on something else, right? So in that sense, it's kind of weird, but at the same time, man, I'm just pumped to see Bungie make a non-Destiny game. Like,
Yep.
I have my issues with Destiny, but one thing that I think Destiny has always done fabulously is just good gameplay. Like the gameplay from Destiny and the gunplay has felt great forever. And so being able to like now play that again, but without having to grind PvE and all that stuff, well, who knows? I mean, we'll see what exactly the extraction shooter ends up being, right? But like without having to do all of the like the the Destiny grind, basically. Like I'm super excited to see what that kind of ends up being, because I think like to me, I think the extraction shooter genre has been like it's so interesting, because you have Tarkov, which is like very hard to get into, very jank. Then you have DMZ, which is like mega casualized, has no depth at all, but still like kind of fun because it's COD gameplay, right? But the problem is there's no depth to it, right? It's just kind of like you go in, you do some missions, and that's about the extent of it. Like the depth of DMZ is just clicking all the check boxes and doing all your missions, because you're not unlocking cool loot, you're not really progressing at all, other than leveling up your weapons, which you can do in any of the Call of Duty game modes. So it'll be interesting to see, like, will we finally get an extraction shooter that actually like builds upon what makes an extraction shooter good, but doesn't have the weird like kind of jank gameplay that Tarkov has? Or like there's a bunch of like indie extraction shooters too, but I feel like they all miss the mark on gameplay too, which is more understandable since they have smaller budgets. But yeah, I don't know. I'm super excited to see what it ends up being. And like, I mean, for all we know, it might not be super PvP heavy either. It could be like mostly PvE or something like that. But I feel like Marathon is.
I mean, they've been saying PvP a lot.
Oh, okay.
They
They haven't said PvE at once, I think.
They have confirmed that there are. They said something about AI controlled enemies on.
Okay.
Well,
I figured
probably
there were, 'cause, like,
PvEVP, right? Like,
I figured there would be
that's
some
what Tarkov has.
PvE, because like that guy with the glowing green dot on his
Yeah,
chest,
the
right? That's a PvE enemy from the original game.
Yeah,
but like this game probably will have bosses like Tarkov, right? It'll probably have a decent amount of guns, which we already know Bungie's capable of producing, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, then the gunplay will be good, and I mean,
Mhm.
from that point on, we'll see. That's a good base,
Well,
I
I mean,
guess.
Since like extraction shooters are still like kind of a newer thing, right? And maybe I'm kind of equating this to like almost like how battle royales were like PUBG was like the first like battle royale to really kind of like get it right, at least when it comes to mechanics and stuff. It's still kind of jank, but like it was good enough for people to consistently play. I feel like that's kind of like where Tarkov is right now. And I think Bungie might have the opportunity to really jump in with like a big budget and like long history of like high quality games. They could be like how Epic took like the battle royale genre and just blew it up with Fortnite.
Yeah, that's the cool part about Marathon, because it has so many unique enemy types, right? It's
Mhm.
not like your traditional extraction shooter. Like, these are monsters, these are creatures. So it's going to be
Yeah.
interesting if they're a part of that game, the way it changes how would you want to put it, the mechanics of how a match plays out. And that's something I'm looking forward to seeing from Bungie, because it's like, if you think back to the original Marathon, that was the first like PC game like that to have vertical aiming. So it's like, how are they going to try and revolutionize it this time like they did back then on PC? So I'm excited to see where they go with this.
I mean, you have to think, for all the shit that people give Bungie, they are like 2 for 2 in their last franchises on basically like revolutionizing whatever they went at. Because like Halo CE came out and basically revolutionized FPS games on the console. And then Destiny came out and became the market leader for looter shooters, right? So like, granted, obviously like people come and go throughout Bungie's history, and obviously like these aren't the same people that made Halo. That's very obvious. But like Bungie as a company, even though Destiny gets a lot of complaints for different things, monetization's a little funky, sunsetting content that people paid for is pretty stupid. Like,
oh yeah,
they do have a track record of making, like, when they go after a genre, they make a splash. This isn't to me, it's like it's the polar opposite of Ubisoft that goes after every single trend and just becomes like
Makes it
forgotten.
mediocre.
Yeah, and they're just forgotten.
Follows
in
every trend and
single
adds towers.
so like for me, it's like Bungie's trying something new. Like there'll probably be issues. Like, it's not going to be perfect, but to me, like, all I can think about is like, dude, this could be like the market leader for extraction shooters. This might be like what makes it a mainstream genre more so than just like Tarkov obviously has its big player base and whatnot. And like, it feels like DMZ is kind of like growing, like at least in terms of content creation, it seems like a lot of people are kind of getting into DMZ style videos because there is like a lot more variety to that than just like ranked Warzone. So I'm very, very interesting to see like what happens here. Like, plus like, are they, so is the next Destiny expansion the last one for Destiny 2, or are they continuing it past
the
that?
last of that
It's the last
saga.
one.
Of that
Oh,
saga. That's what they're
okay.
saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine them quitting Destiny. I mean, like,
I
well,
think they-
I'm sure a lot of people said that when they said they're going to quit Halo, but like,
I think they. Sorry.
no, that's all I need to say.
I was gonna say, I think they refer to that as the Darkness saga. So I think there probably will be more DLC for Destiny 2 in the future.
Okay, that makes sense then. But yeah, I'm just I don't know. I hate to sound like a Bungie fanboy because I'm not even a Destiny person, but I'm just excited to see like a story dev. Like we say try something new, but technically it's an old IP. But like the way they're bringing it back, it's basically a new, like it's gonna feel like a new IP with some good throwbacks maybe. So they might bring back like Jared said, one of the problems with like DMZ is that the AI is just boring to fight, right? It's the same stupid AI. Sometimes they have more armor and they're just more annoying. But Marathon has the opportunity to bring all sorts of cool different enemy types that might actually make the PvE content side or the PvE fight of it actually enjoyable, and then you have hopefully good PvP that goes on top of it that'll really kind of like feed off it, and you'll have this like you have the possibility for something super fun.
Yeah, Bungie creates like really cool universes with really unique enemies. You know, I felt the same way back like with Destiny 2. When I compared that to like another looter shooter, the Division just looked really boring in comparison because you're just fighting other people. In Destiny, you fight all kinds of different creatures. So it's a lot more appealing, in my opinion. One thing I am curious about is, you know, they're saying Marathon's an extraction shooter, but they're also saying this has been in the works for a while. And the first I ever heard of Bungie working on a Marathon successor was back in 2012 from an IGN video they reported. And so I wonder if this is the same Marathon that I heard from back then. And, you know, at what point, because I'm assuming at some point they decided to pivot to an extraction shooter, because that's kind of, you know, that's relatively new. So I'm interested by that.
I did see that the Destiny or Marathon the game Twitter was created or joined Twitter back in 2019.
Okay.
When that became public, I noticed that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so you have to imagine, like, not that it couldn't have existed before, because sometimes maybe you don't want to create those things if it's like super early, but that was probably once they were like sure it was becoming a thing, right? I'm also kind of curious too, like, so Destiny obviously uses like the Tiger engine, which is modified Blam, like very modified, right? So I wonder if this is going to be another Tiger engine game, or if they're going to use like the more generic Unreal. Because if it's Tiger engine, like it might actually have gameplay that like feels semi similar to Destiny, which could be interesting.
Yeah.
At least like graphically, I definitely noticed some similarities.
Yeah, I was gonna say graphically it looked very much like Destiny. Some scenes. So like I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Tiger engine or Tiger 2, whatever the fuck they want to call it.
Yeah, obviously, like I would hope that it has upgrades over Destiny's version of Tiger, but definitely
call it the Frosted Flake engine.
Dude, that's what they need. They need Tony the Tiger out there to fucking be the champion for the engine.
It's great.
No, that's good. All right, any final thoughts on Marathon, or should we talk about a different game?
I'm just excited about it, man. I think I did see a thing where was in that same article where it was originally leaked out that Bungie was working on Marathon was one of the lead like CEOs or whatever. I think Parsons was his name, right, for Bungie. I think he said by 2025 they're looking to have multiple IPs within the environment kind of space. So that's, and from what they sound like from the like the dev blog that they released soon afterwards with that Vidoc, it sounds like probably like a fall 2025, or at least is what I would expect to see this game come out.
It seems like it's going to be a while.
That's rough.
So.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that's
Also, before I can judge more, I feel like I need to see gameplay.
yeah,
Like, 'cause,
obviously.
I was, when they announced DMZ as a concept, I was like, oh, this is gonna be fire, right? Like $1 billion franchise that can make fucking something better than Tarkov. Shit's mid.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
And
I haven't never played Tarkov, but I can guarantee it feels better than Tarkov.
gameplay.
that's not the thing though. Like they're missing like the thrill and shit of extraction shooters. I don't know. There's like nothing to it. Also, like they don't have any bosses, I think, in DMZ.
They
which
do, but they're just
You
really
know-
tanky COD enemies.
right. But like in Tarkov, they have like different bosses on each map and like different spawn variations and shit like that. So definitely. Also, it's one map, right? In DMC, not.
No, it uses both the Warzone maps. So you have what's the big
Oh,
one
there's
called?
two Warzone
Al
maps?
Mazrah and
Yeah, Al
Ashika.
Mazrah and then Ashika Island, which is the really small one. Like, honestly, as someone who, when I first played DMZ, thought it was like actually bad, the more I've played it, it is fun. But the problem is it just has no depth. Like in Tarkov, the whole thing is you build up your inventory, you build up your character. You know, you have this like progression, right? And when you die, you lose all your shit, right? Or unless you insure it or whatever in Tarkov. In COD, literally all there is you have, well, now you have multiple character slots that have like whatever armor you pick up, maybe a backpack. And then you have your insured weapon slots, which is just like your COD
Pay-to-win
loadout. Yeah, well, yeah. You have your COD loadout. And then if you die and you lose your loadout weapon, it just goes on cooldown and you just get it back in like a couple hours. So it's not even like the only stuff you lose are like the contraband weapons, but if you're good at DMZ, I feel like you just play with insured weapons all the time because you can get the multiple different slots and you can just like if one loses, you just load up the next one. So I feel like the DMZ grinders probably like are, unless you're specifically trying to make content out of picking up weapons or something like that. If you want, you just rock in with your meta loadout every game. You rock in with like a sniper and a long range AR or like a SMG or whatever, and you just like go around and farm bots because the people who play DMZ are terrible.
That just reminded me of something about Marathon. So when Destiny came out, right? I remember they set up a raid team, right? And the raid team, like, because they wanted to make interesting raids because it hadn't been done before, right? In a looter shooter like that. So I remember they did play like stuff like World of Warcraft and stuff, and really understood what made those raids okay, right? So I do wonder if they'll play Tarkov and DMZ and stuff like that, and then learn from that when they're making Marathon.
They had
I'm
to
sure
have.
they'll take inspiration from those games.
Yeah.
Another thing we got to talk about real quick, though, is, you know, a lot of games now have a cheating problem. And that's even worse when you play a extraction shooter because you're losing all your shit. So they really got to figure that one out. Because, like, a reason that I don't want to go anywhere near a game like Tarkov is because there's a ton of cheaters. And, like, I'm just not dealing with that. So hopefully they can figure something out. Because there's
It is
more
mad
ways to
frustrating.
cheat now than ever before. And it's a real problem. And, I mean, again, that problem is even worse when you're playing an extraction shooter and you lose all your shit. Like, fuck that.
For a while, didn't Destiny have like a horrible cheating problem and they just basically did nothing?
Really bad.
Yeah.
Really?
So,
yeah,
we're-
that's true.
We're not off to a good track
They
record there.
abandoned the PvP, like
Yeah.
mostly in Destiny anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But
So.
all right. Well, I figured since we're talking about Bungie, we'll kind of piggyback this onto the Last of Us factions, which, if you guys didn't see, got delayed, canceled. The wording is it got delayed, but if a cancellation came out a year from now, I wouldn't be that surprised. But basically, like, so the official story from Naughty Dog is just let me find the actual post real fast. It's one of those blocks of blocks
sorry
of
texts.
yeah, blocks of text
Wall
that
of
everyone just
text.
fucking loves.
Great
these
wall
days.
of text.
Yeah, let me pull this baby up. Here we go. All right. So we know many of you have been looking forward to hearing more about our Last of Us multiplayer game. We're incredibly proud, blah, 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 blah. Our team will continue to, but we've realized what is best for the game is to give it more time. They're going to work on it. They're still working on single player stuff, etc., etc. And so this is like the official statement from Naughty Dog. But when this dropped, I think it was Bloomberg or one of the other games to
It was Jason Schreier.
yeah. So
I'm pretty sure it was Bloomberg.
So Bloomberg basically ran a story saying that they basically pulled off a bunch of the people off the project after sending it to Bungie, and Bungie basically had concerns that it wouldn't be able to like hold people as a live service game, which is to me, that's hilarious. Like, imagine you've been working on a game for years and you're like, no, this game's pretty decent. Like, I think we're getting close. And PlayStation's like, yeah, but just send it our way, all right? And they send it over to Bungie, who they like just purchased, right? And Bungie's like, this game kind of blows. Like, I don't think people are gonna play this. And they're,
that's smart.
And then PlayStation,
or maybe since Bungie's like, well, we're also.
I know
making
another
extraction
publisher
shooter,
that should
we'll just say
start
it's
doing that.
garbage.
Right.
And
it's
you
so
know what I
funny,
mean?
too, 'cause- yeah, but so many people were coping over this statement. Like, how dare Bungie come to the PlayStation studio and tell them how to do their job with their paid of whatever game? With
Why are people so
cosmetics
hung
and all
up? It's
this
a
shit.
business.
Well, you know what? Destiny 2 has 150,000 plus players every day.
Yeah.
So, just on PC. So
They're doing something right.
they know what they're doing over there. Okay, they
when
don't
they-
do everything perfect, but come on.
Especially when the game
Bungie.
originally came out in Battle.net too.
Exactly.
Oh,
True.
yeah,
It was a
dude.
fucking.
Those are the
it
bad
was a
days.
Fiesta.
And can I ask, because I've never played a Last of Us game, but like, is that something like Last of Us fans even wanted? I feel like they would just they would prefer a Last of Us 3 over a Last of Us multiplayer game. I don't
I
even
think
know
that
how
is in the
the
works, isn't
gameplay
it?
is.
Last of Us 3.
It something is. That's what they're saying. They're
Oh,
still
it is?
working on
Okay.
the single player. So
Yeah.
basically, PopQ, the gist of it is, so The Last of Us came out and was like this fantastic single player game, right? But it also had this like very underrated multiplayer game that a lot of people actually enjoyed, and they obviously like never brought it back, right? It wasn't in the next Last of Us game. It hasn't been in like the remastered.
Okay.
And so this was supposed to be like the new Last of Us multiplayer game that people were excited about, because a lot of people did like the multiplayer. But the problem is like it was a PlayStation game, so it's like impossible to know how many people were actually playing it, or was it just one of the, because I played it back in the day and I was like, oh, this is cool, and I played it for like a couple weeks and then never played it again. It was basically like a round based deathmatch. I can't remember if it had an objective, but my biggest issue was you were playing with like the janky Last of Us controls.
Yeah, but there was like crafting like in the game.
Yeah, you could
right?
craft and stuff like mid game, so it had depth and it was like pretty fun. But yeah, like you were saying, I think Kevin, maybe they were trying to spin it as an extraction shooter, and
That's what I heard from like some rumors about it.
so maybe
Bungie's just like, no, you're not competing with us.
or they're just like, ours is better, dude. Fuck you guys.
I mean, like, I don't
How
know.
dare
I
they
always
walk in the door and tell them how to do their job?
I always thought people hated the Last of Us multiplayer. I always thought it came from a time where they just tagged on multiplayers because they thought games had to have
Definitely
multiplayer.
was a time. When they would do that.
that's definitely why it
And
existed.
I remember I played it once and I thought it was boring as shit. So I don't know why they would ever bring it back.
Yeah.
You want to know one of the
And-
greatest tacked on multiplayers of all time?
BioShock
Mass
2.
Effect 3.
No, dude,
Oh,
Mass Effect 3's
was alright, too.
multiplayer is so good.
Yeah, that
Oh
was
my
good
god.
too.
Absolute banger.
Yeah.
I would have grinded it more, but it was all tied to loot boxes. And I'm just like, man,
Yeah.
I'm just not down to grind for just like whatever random thing I can get out of a box.
Yeah.
But that thing was actually like really freaking good. It was way better than it needed to be.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Naughty Dog, not so much these days. But like back in the day, like the Uncharted games had multiplayer too. That also I don't think really was anything special. I mean, it was really of that era of when you tacked on a multiplayer to your single player game, and obviously like the Uncharted games are great games, but probably not the multiplayer. So I don't know. I'm not saying they couldn't make a good multiplayer game, because obviously like maybe they could, but they definitely have a better track record of making single player stuff. So maybe that's just kind of Sony was
And
like,
obviously they're not making good multiplayer games because Bungie was like, this is shit.
Fair.
So like,
True.
I don't know, dude.
True.
Got him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's smart. Honestly, it's smart to like to figure that out now because there's games that release with some issues like that where nobody wants to play it, and then they
But also,
die.
I mean,
and they're wasted.
Bungie has like the track record, right? They're like, well, we made Halo and Destiny, and then you hand over Naughty Dog to make a multiplayer. Like, whose word are you gonna trust? You trust Bungie's.
Yeah, obviously. Also, like, I mean, It shows us like PlayStation knows what Bungie's capable of, and they are integrating them into their ecosystem, which is smart. They just purchased them for what $3.6 billion or some shit. Like,
Yeah.
you got to use them. Like, they didn't just buy them to fucking release Destiny DLC.
So you know what this makes me just laugh about? So this is like the polar opposite of Redfall, where Phil Spencer came out and said all their internal reviews were like 10 points higher than the release of Redfall. Dude.
Yeah, they need to fucking fire whoever the fuck put the 10 points on it, dude. What the hell, dude? Ask me. I'll do it for free.
Game
Send me
of
all
the
your
year.
games.
Right.
I'll tell you if they're fucking fun or not. It's not that hard. Like, I don't know. They're getting
Like,
straight
I
up.
was
They're
saying- I
getting
was
straight
saying-
up scammed. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
Yeah,
the
I was
people.
saying this.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, whoever they're fucking employing is just scamming them for a paycheck. That's it. Like,
Right.
to make
Yeah,
these decisions that Redfall is fun or whatever.
Yeah, when he talked about their mock reviews being higher than like the actual reviews, I was saying like you just described, like you could show that game to tons of gamers and they could instantly tell you it's shit. But these people doing these mock-up reviews, apparently they thought it was a decent game. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, who the
Either.
hell is doing these mock reviews?
Either these were like 30-year-olds that just wanted the paycheck, and like obviously there's some weird environment where you can't criticize it, or these were like 50-year-old white men that like also wanted a paycheck. Those are the only scenarios
No,
I can see. Fuck.
I will say,
Like,
I
why you
am-
gotta call me out like that? There,
I'm
Luke?
sorry,
Jesus
Kevin.
Christ.
the only thing that I can think is they gave it to like mega casual gamers that were just like, yeah, that's a game, and they were just like, yeah, it's whatever. It's not
This is a
good,
game.
but
I
it's
like
not.
games.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but like, dude, within 2 hours of playing Redfall, I was like, fuck it, this is not good.
This game is bland as shit. Yeah.
It's
I mean, did they let him
bland.
play for 10 minutes? Maybe that
Yeah.
could be
Maybe they loaded into like the really fun end game or something, and they're like, yeah, this is the whole game. I promise. I
Is there a
promise.
fun end game? Has anyone ever gotten that? Is there like a video of it? Like, I don't know, dude.
5 hours.
There's that one
first.
boss. There's the really big boss where you stand up on a ledge and you shoot him because he doesn't know how to like attack upward.
Nice, dude.
Oh shit!
Redfall also, like, I don't know why it had to be like an open world fucking.
Because
game.
everything does these days.
I don't
That's the
know.
big thing.
Back 4 Blood
Halo-
was
All
alright.
fetch quests. That's all you make games.
I didn't
nowadays.
like feel like replaying Back 4 Blood, but like if Redfall had like a Back 4 Blood style campaign, it would have been a lot better. Like something linear.
Like Back 4 Blood obviously wasn't an amazing game either, but I would
No,
play
it wasn't great, but
I
I
would
played through it. It had fun.
Yeah,
Like,
I would
it was
play
alright.
that any day of the week over Redfall. I had fun playing Back 4 Blood. I just only played it for like one playthrough and called it good.
I mean, that's all right. Like it's a
Yeah.
single player game. Like you know.
Well, that one was supposed to be a live servicey
I mean,
co-op game, so it also failed at
guess
what
so.
it was trying to do. But
I mean, kind of. Yeah.
yeah. But all right. Any last thoughts on The Last of Us delay thingy?
I just want the PC port to start working so I can play the.
Oh god, is it still broken?
Wait, did the season 1 of the show end? Sorry.
Yeah, it did.
Oh yeah, it was a while ago. Great show though.
Yeah, it's still broken. I think we got a wall of text for it.
Okay, does anyone know here if the show ends with where the first game ends, or how does that work?
Yeah, exactly.
So will
where
the second
first game
season
ends.
start how the second game starts?
supposedly.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's gonna have a dude. The first episode I'm calling right now will have like a shit ton of viewers, and then they'll dip.
Oh, dude.
Like on Walking Dead when Glenn
So,
died. Like you can
Well,
look it up.
spoilers.
The
Yeah.
fucking
You just spoiled
I,
it.
wait for Walking Dead. Dude, they happened like 15 years ago. What do you mean?
Yeah. So I'm not
Glenn has
gonna.
been dead for this guy.
I won't.
I'm not gonna spoil the Last of Us
yeah,
thing, but like, you know, there was a
I-
big drop off in viewers.
No,
for
I
Walking
think-
Dead.
I think
know what
not-
happened. I
Oh,
just haven't
okay.
played them.
Not only does that happen right at the start, Luke, I also just think the writing of the second game, like a lot of
It's
probably
worse.
like very boomery type people probably enjoyed the show, especially with it being on HBO. I don't think they're gonna if the second season is like the second game, I don't think they're gonna jive with the writing. But
Did
I mean,
they
but
set it up to
Neil
be a second
Druckmann's the
season?
main
Do we know?
writer there. I think he said on Twitter like we move forward with our plan of like emulating the second game or something like that.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure he said something like that on
I'm
Twitter.
interested to see it.
Final
Like I'll still watch
episode is
it.
going to be great for season 2.
Yeah. Yeah. All
So you
right.
gotta
You're
think,
around
like,
all of the
the
characters you
boomers-
love.
The boomers are millennials now too. Like, you know, and it's starting to get there. Like the audiences are shifting.
All right. Fair enough. All right. I brought up Marathon. Someone else bring up a game you want to talk about from the PlayStation show.
Well, we talked about a little bit of Metal Gear Solid, right?
We did. We
Yeah.
did.
And then, I mean, Spider-Man. I never played any of the Spider-Man games, but I know a lot of people were super excited about that. The
So
second one.
I feel like I saw mixed reactions to the Spider-Man game. Like personally, I thought the trailer looked really cool, but there were a lot of people saying that it basically just looks like the first game, like DLC for the first game.
Well,
Yeah, but
I mean-
I saw someone complain that it's in New York City again, but like, where the fuck is the
Where
Spider-Man
were you-
game gonna
right?
be besides New York
well,
City? What the-
it's not just that. You guys know the ending sequence of the trailer where they're like by the docks and they're going through the water. People were complaining about the water animations. Like,
I really kind of noticed that
it's
they
a
didn't
Spider-Man
really.
game, though. It's like, who cares? You're flying through the city. You're not swimming. Like,
Yeah, I found it so weird. A lot
Whatever.
of people like
Is the game
look to
fun?
the
Good.
Spider-Man games for the graphics. It's weird.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the superhero games, like they're supposed to have fun gameplay, and maybe like an interesting story. That's it,
water
like-
physics, it's-
I think
I don't know. That's how the Arkham games worked.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with like these like big basically like console sellers is not only do people want the game to be amazing, they also want to point at it and be like, look at our console leader game. It looks so much prettier than yours. Because the amount of stupid ass fucking screenshots I saw of like a
Yeah.
picture of Spider-Man and a picture of Starfield where they're like, look, Spider-Man looks better than Starfield. It's like, first of all,
God.
one, your image looks like it has 2 pixels, but also who gives a fuck?
Right.
Like, until I play Starfield and play Spider-Man, I don't give a fuck which looks better. Like, as long as they look moderately decent, they have art styles that make sense. As long as I'm not looking at like some mega bland shit. Like, who like people have got to stop making everything a graphics arms race because it's so stupid. Like, especially Spider-Man's a fucking open world game where you're like flying across the city at Mach speed as Spider-Man. Like, oh darn, my graphics aren't fucking perfect. Like, I would like the
This
game to run.
leaf does not look textured enough.
Yeah. Like
I'm refunding.
I would also like the game to run on my like PlayStation and my PC. So yeah, I don't care that much. But I thought the gameplay for the new Spider-Man looked really cool. I unfortunately haven't played the first one though, so maybe by the time this one comes to PC in like 5 years, I'll play the first one and then I'll play this
I
one.
guarantee you, all the people complaining online are just internet weirdos just trying to farm like Twitter points.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, whoever
That's all
the
it
fuck
is.
posts on Twitter should be locked up.
Like anyone who like actually takes Twitter comments seriously, it's like you also gotta remember that like there's such a small minority of like the gaming community at large. You're just really loud and annoying.
Twitter is a smaller social media too, like comparatively.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it
user
is.
base, like so, like I don't know. It's just like a fucking bubble of weirdos. And like when Tumblr banned porn, all those people came over to Twitter, so it made it even worse. And then it's all politicized and shit. So
Dude,
like, I don't know, dude.
Dude, I saw some crazy shit on Twitter earlier. Oh my god, dude.
Dude, you cannot click any hashtag without seeing some cock or some OnlyFans promotion.
No.
It is what it is.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even like the actual post wasn't like too graphic. It was just like the thought of the post was just like insane. I was like, dude, people have gone too far. People are too horny. This is
Let's
too
share
much.
it.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's when Tumblr banned porn, the internet changed forever. People still haven't realized that, but because like eventually in the history books, it will say this was like the
break it
Exodus.
down, Luke.
Yeah, this is like when Moses split the waves. You know what I mean?
The big
Things
brain.
changed.
I never used Tumblr, but it sounds like I missed out.
Apparently.
You did.
I shared the tweet with you in the group chat if you'd like to see it. But
Oh no!
well, of course.
Wait,
Yeah.
I gotta go like.
All right.
oh my god.
Oh,
Alrighty. I think that wraps up Spider-Man. Jared, why don't you talk about Dragon's Dogma? Because I know you're excited about that.
I am excited about this, and a lot of people didn't play the first one. So this was the lead of the first one made like Resident Evil 4 and Devil May Cry 4. He led on those projects. But Dragon's Dogma, do you guys all know what Shadow of the Colossus is?
Yeah.
Like, does
Yeah,
everyone know
heard
what
of
that
it.
game is?
No,
All right, think of
Some
having
weeb
that
shit, right?
gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Some we've.
So imagine that gameplay of climbing giant monsters, but like scale them down and then add in like that Devil May Cry type action. Like not quite like that, but similar to that. And then add in this really cool system where you are able to create a companion, right? Called a pawn. And then you can upload that pawn to like the network, and then anyone who plays the game can use your pawn in their world. But there's like a catch to it. If they're like equal level to you and lower level, you can use them for free. But if you want to use a higher level pawn that has like more skill and more experience, then you have to spend these crystals that you earn while using other people's pawns that are at the same level as yours. And the cool thing is, when you take these like pawns that have a lot more experience, they would actually give you information about like the different monsters you were fighting that you haven't faced yet. And it was just like a really cool, kind of innovative system. And like even selecting the pawns of other players to help you, you would like go into this little like shadow world, and they'd all be walking around. You could walk up to them and see their gear and what they have equipped, and you could give stuff to each other through them. And it was just a really cool system. And just the game in general, the gameplay is awesome. Like it's some of the best gameplay in an RPG I've played. Like the game is just phenomenal with a deep combat system, with a lot of like different hybrid paths you can go with like melee and magic. But now when it comes to story though, in the first game, it was really bad. Like it was absolutely garbage. And it was weird because you'd like beat the game, but you didn't beat the game. You'd have to like go back through it again to like really see the ending. And it was like really weird and like a bunch of end of the world shit, and you just die anyways. So it's just it was weird story wise, but I'm hoping they kind of improve on that aspect in the second one. But the gameplay wise, it's really good. And it looks like they're actually going to have co-op in this sequel. You can play with other people now, not just their like pawns or their companions that they create.
That'll be nice.
I'm not trying to be some pawn. I'm a top G alpha, okay?
Yeah, I don't need someone's pawn, dude.
Okay, Mr. Tate. Go dance with your anime girls then.
I'm going to Romania.
Oh, have fun in jail.
Good luck.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really in my wheelhouse, but I know
Probably not.
I feel like the first one had like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it sold amazingly, but it kind of had that like cult classic kind of moniker where like the people who did play it like fucking loved it, but a lot of people just straight up didn't play it. Didn't they recently like port it to PC and stuff like 3 or 4
I think that was
ago?
a year after release.
Oh,
but,
okay. I thought
Yeah,
Or
it
was
was a
it?
while ago. It was
Yeah.
well, it was called the Dark Arisen update. They like added all the DLC and stuff.
Wasn't there an MMO? I remember. I think I played like an MMO that's called like Dragon's Dogma somehow. Dragon's Dogma Online or something.
Yes, I think there was actually. I never played that, but I think I remember that.
yeah.
People talking about it, anyways.
All right.
I mean, the
fair
trailer
enough.
looked good though. For
Any
Dragon's Dogma 2, so.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool. Any other opinions of Dragon's Dogma? Anyone else care?
I think that wasn't that one. Yeah, it kind of like a fantasy theme to it, right? Because I remember like looking at it going like, this actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
fantasy themey.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool. I never played it, but this is like is it the second one that one is or something like that? Or am I thinking of it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the second one.
This will be the second one.
Oh, okay. I like to see it hopefully succeed too pretty well. I remember looking at it going like, this kind of reminds me of Skyrim in a way.
Yeah, it's like Skyrim and Dragon Age kind of mixed.
That's a pretty good mix.
Good
Can't go wrong with that mix.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, why don't we transition? So Ubisoft is putting out a new video game. I actually think, aren't they putting out? They have their showcase like in a week or two. So we'll be interested to see, because I think they're supposed to be putting out like multiple things this year. Because they have like a Division extraction shooter that'll probably be bland. Then they have the new Assassin's Creed game, which
As long as it has towers, I'll play it.
Division mobile game. Don't forget about the
hell
Division
yeah,
mobile
dude.
game.
How could I forget? So Assassin's Creed Mirage. So I will be honest, all of the recent Assassin's Creed games have not been my thing, because they turned into those long ass fucking RPGs that I don't really feel like was Assassin's Creed. But my understanding is this one's supposed to be more kind of like of a throwback, where it's like a shorter game and it's more of straightforward Assassin's Creed gameplay. And I actually thought it looked really interesting. And I thought, I might actually play an Assassin's Creed for the first time in like many years. And then I found out it was only on the Epic Store, and I no longer cared. So that was how I felt about Assassin's Creed. So I don't know. What do you guys think of the new Assassin's Creed, or do you even care at all?
Did I hated Prince of Persia? I hated the original
You
Assassin's
hated
Creed
Prince of
games,
Persia?
and I hated the new Assassin's
my
Creed
God.
games, and I'll probably hate this one. So that's all I have to
Prince
say.
of
the
Persia
new
was
Assassin's
so
Creeds
fucking
are
good.
pretty
The
bad.
camera was so annoying, dude. It made me want to smash my TV, dude.
I remember playing a Prince of Persia Wii game. Now that was dog shit. But okay. All right.
And the only AC game I ever played was Assassin's Creed 2. Not super well versed in the franchise.
I think I played the first
More than
3 or
I've
4.
played. I've never played an Assassin's Creed game.
Hey, 1's good, 2's good, 3's crap, 4's the best. Nothing else matters after that.
Brotherhood had a fun multiplayer.
Yeah. No, the multiplayers were pretty fun, but outside of that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I played through Odyssey. It was okay.
Dude, it was too long.
Valhalla, I just dropped.
Yeah.
Valhalla just got boring. It's like this. Where the fuck are the assassins?
Yeah.
Why is it called Assassin's Creed?
Well,
Like,
they
I
turned
don't
it into
know.
like a level gated fucking RPG. Like what
Yeah,
what is
that's
this, you guys? You missed the memo here. Like,
But it's
this
not
isn't-
the Animus or whatever in the new games.
That's a Jared
Does anyone
question.
know? Jared,
I
what
don't
was it called?
remember. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. It was so stupid. I kept wondering what the assassins were.
But I'm pretty sure I've like rented or bought every Assassin's Creed game and gave it an attempt, and I could never get into it.
Yeah, it's like
So I
only
just
thing
want to
I-
note it that I hate it because I tried it every time.
good. Like the only thing I remember from Odyssey is a side quest where I helped a guy who had erectile dysfunction. That's all I remember from that game. That's it. And I fought my
Mm,
brother.
stand
looked
out
like you needed
missions.
help.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just like, man, that's it. That's what stands out to me. There you go.
Perfect. All right, Jared, you pick the next game. What are we talking about next?
Oh, I don't know. How about Immortals of Avium? Because it looks like a Magic Doom.
Yeah, hell yeah, it does. It looks sick.
Yeah, like what I love about this trailer too is like just the animations, like the way they done all the animations with the magic that come out of the gauntlet. I don't know. I think it looks really cool, and I hope it doesn't suck. It's probably gonna suck, but I hope it don't.
So who is Ascendant Studios?
I don't
Okay,
really know.
Should I know? Have they made games before? So I know this is like is it EA published thing, but it's like EA Originals, which means it's like lower budget, right? But it looks fun as fuck. Like it definitely looks sweet. I mean, like you said, it just looks like Magic plus Doom, which, you know, sign me up for. The modern Doom games are like some of the most fun FPS stuff I've played in a while. So this definitely looks really interesting to
A
me.
quick Google search tells me this is a studio founded by an ex-Sledgehammer exec in 2018 with Telltale developers.
Oh.
Yeah, this is their first game.
Okay,
So-
Maybe the first game they make.
Yeah.
it's a
That's
mixed
the first
bag.
game. It is Sledgehammer doesn't make good games, and Telltale went bankrupt. So
Yeah, yeah.
make of that what you will.
I mean, they had the Walking
I mean,
Dead
maybe
games
this will
kind
be-
of blew them up, and then like it was kind of after that with like what was that one werewolf one that they had?
Telltale.
Yeah, it was like
Oh,
a wolf. I think it was
fuck.
called-
The wolf Brong Among Us. or some
Yeah,
shit.
something like that.
Yeah, the Wolf Among
Dude,
Us. Yep.
I mean,
Mm.
Telltale, like, at first was kind of cool, and then they just rode that formula into the fucking ground and just never innovated at all. And eventually, like, just, went bankrupt. But, like, they never had good gameplay. It was purely, like, a story thing. Like, I remember
No, it was story driven.
Tales from the Borderlands was kind of cool, but,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. So that doesn't give me, like, high hopes for the gameplay of a video game, but,
Maybe this combination of Telltale and Sledgehammer people will make good gameplay and a good story.
I mean, yeah,
Maybe.
I'm sure.
maybe.
Yeah. At least the Telltale developers have released games that work and people were interested in, which I know other bigger studios that haven't done that. So
That's,
I mean, when all you gotta
true.
do is click yes or no prompts, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
hey, no, the games had good stories. Like people cared
Oh, yeah.
about them.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Fair enough. All right. Any last
I'm just
thoughts on
being
this?
toxic.
This one? All right, we're gonna move on to a game that I'm not sure why it exists, but I also kind of want to play it, and that's Square Enix is making a fucking Splatoon ripoff, but instead of paint, it's just soapy cum water.
Okay, well,
And
Gotta
when
get
you
anime
say it that-
skin?
when you say it that way.
like I don't understand why this exists, but at the same time, like I think it might be a PlayStation exclusive, so I won't play it. But if it's on PC, I think I'm gonna give it a download. Like, I don't know, it intrigues me. Did you guys see the trailer for this one?
Yeah. Yeah, this looks interesting. That's the thing with Square Enix, right? They'll make their traditional games, but then they'll like go off the beaten path, do the most obscure random thing. Like they'll copy an idea and be like, "All right, how weird can we make this?"
Yeah, and
Can we make it like an anime? All right, let's make a game.
Yeah, I think the one thing that kind of intrigues me is like people always talk up Splatoon, but it's also a
Who the fuck talks up Splatoon?
Dude, people do, man. But like,
there are a lot
Is anyone over the age of 8 should not have an opinion on Splatoon? I'm gonna be honest.
Sheesh.
well,
You
anyways,
just gotta get good.
it's like a competitive shooter on the Switch, and I just don't like. I don't use my Switch for that. Like, I don't care. So I don't know. Maybe this being on a platform that actually like has a good controller and can run things at higher than like 30 frames. Although maybe Splatoon runs at 60. I don't actually know. But
Wait, there's no shot. No, right?
I mean,
Wait, Switch games can run like 60? I don't think
so.
so.
I'm
Smash
putting
does,
the.
doesn't it?
What's up?
I think Smash runs at 60.
I think
Pretty sure.
Smash
Really?
does.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Usually fighting games do because they're really bad if they don't. But okay, all right, Jared, back to you because unless someone else has games they're gonna bring up, me and Jared are just gonna go back and forth.
Oh boy.
All right,
Halo
perfect.
Infinite's
No one-
pretty cool.
No, hold on,
Oh,
Kevin.
God.
We'll
No,
get to that
God.
later. We'll
No,
get
no,
to
no,
that
we
later.
gotta
Start
talk
talking
about
about
Halo.
Halo 3 montage.
We're not talking about Halo.
All right, Jared, what are you talking about next?
Let's talk about Phantom Blade Zero then, because this game came
All right.
out of nowhere. No one knew what it was. It's like some weird samurai mixed with Dark Souls, mixed with Sekiro, mixed with Elden. I don't know. It's just a crazy looking game. And if the gameplay is even remotely like what they showed with the sword combat, it might be one of those games that kind of innovates combat because like this combat is crazy smooth with the blocking and parries and just the way you're just countering enemies in this world. Like it looks like it's out of a movie. It looks
Yeah.
like you're playing a movie, but it's like how much of it is you actually playing? Like, is there a lot of button prompts? Like, I want to know how much of this is actually me playing the game or if it's just me playing a movie.
Yeah, the trailer looked really sick. It also didn't really look like something I'd fuck with, but it did look really cool, but it also looked like way too animated for it to be not button prompty. Like it
Wait, didn't they do the same shit with Elden Ring? One of the early Elden Ring trailers had the same fucking like style or like I don't know, it almost insinuated you could like it's like pixel perfect fucking hitboxes and stuff.
No.
Like, I don't
God,
know.
no.
And I feel like Elden Ring did not have that.
No, but if it's like Sekiro, it'd be like a next level Sekiro if they're able to pull that off. Because Sekiro was really good with like the timing of dodges and just the way the hitboxes worked. But look at this. Like
to me, you know what this gives
is
me the
insane.
vibes of? It gives me the vibes of the old like Arkham combat that got done to shit, where it's basically like you just spam one button to do combos and then you counter people. Because that was the only way you could have like the animations be this fluid. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's actually going to be like mega sick.
I
don't
hope
know.
so.
Alrighty, fair enough. Anyone else opinion on Phantom Blade Zero?
Never heard of it.
All right. Perfect. All right. Next, we're gonna talk about When we talk about okay, so this game showed absolutely nothing, but I'm just like hoping maybe it's actually good. And I don't know if you guys saw this one, but it's called Concord, and I don't know. Basically, it's a sci-fi FPS published by PlayStation, and that's about the gist of it. Like the trailer is just like some space shit, but I feel like PlayStation hasn't had like a really cool sci-fi FPS in a while, so maybe it'll be cool. I don't know. Anyone watch this one?
Yeah, I mean like it looks interesting, but I mean obviously this was just like a mood board
Yeah.
like we saw in the trailer. It wasn't really like
Yeah, there's
anything.
Nothing. There's not literally nothing there.
Pinterest in a trailer.
Yeah, I mean kind of. Like there was just like ideas or like vibes. Like the trailer was all vibes, that's it.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Yeah, like there's nothing really you can get from that. I mean, there was like one gun on there that kind of like a Destiny sniper rifle.
Yeah, for sure. All right. There's another game that kind of caught my eye. It's called Fair Games, and it basically just looks like Payday, but PlayStation is making it. So I don't. Isn't the Payday devs are making a new Payday, aren't they? But Yeah, I don't know. I thought this game looked okay-ish, but again, like the trailer doesn't really show fucking anything, so I have no clue. Like,
Dude, I don't know. Didn't the last Payday like rip off with all the celebrities just like come out and everybody hated
that
it?
game is bad.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I don't know, dude.
Yeah. Fuck, what's that one called? Oh, Rogue Rocket City.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Payday copy is not a surefire guarantee.
No, it's not. It's not for sure. I feel like it could be cool, and I feel like someone could do it so much better than Payday did, but no one really does. Yeah, I don't know. I thought this looked like the trailer.
So could it be like an extraction shooter?
It was like, I think I saw an article that described it as like a heist type thing, but I mean maybe. It
But
could
isn't
be
that what that Sega game you played?
Oh,
was too?
that's an extraction shooter. That Hyenas, which actually that game's kind of fun. I don't know when that's coming out though. But
I don't know, it just seems like
good.
when I watched the trailer that there was like PvP combat.
Yeah,
At the end.
yeah, maybe it is. I
Mm.
don't know, man. All right. Let's see, what else do I have on my list? Did you guys ever play the first Helldivers?
Never heard of it.
No.
All right. It's like a top-down thingy, but the second one looks kind of interesting. It's now like a third-person shoot aliens type game.
Oh yeah, now I remember what it looked like. Yeah, I remember seeing it was like, yeah, it looked like ODSTs with capes.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
That's exactly what
Is
it looked like.
supposed to be reminiscent of it.
Well, like when the trailer first started, I was like, is this a Starship Trooper game?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like ODSTs came in. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This looked okay. This is another game. Like it intrigued me enough that when it like comes out, I'll check if people liked it and decide if I want to play it.
Yeah.
Like it looks decent enough. But
When I first saw this, the first game I thought about, I don't even know if you guys know about this. There was a sci-fi show called Defiance, and they made
The
a game
game.
for it that was like,
Yes.
I remember
Yeah.
the
Yes.
game.
this is exactly what that reminds me of, just better.
that was like an MMO though,
better
wasn't
quality.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a third-person shooter MMO. You ran around the world. They had events and stuff, but you fought creatures kind of like this, and it's just like it just reminded me of that. I'm like, it's the same game but better.
Wasn't like
Yeah, I remember.
the game
Yes, sir.
like came out concurrently with the show, and they were supposed to like build off each other, but the show
Yep.
flopped, and so did the game.
Yep.
Dude,
they
I
both
remember
went down with
buying
each
the
other.
game for like $4 at GameStop, like within the year of the release. Maybe even less.
That's my
Maybe it was
team.
like a couple months after release. Like, gee, dude.
That's funny. No, I remember that game. I mean, I barely remember playing it, but I remember it existing. I never like knew it was a TV show either, because wasn't it on some weird fucking channel too?
Well, it was on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, okay, all right. So not that weird. I just
But the show just wasn't good.
yeah, it just
So-
wasn't
Yeah, it was
very
bad.
popular.
Nobody gave a shit.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Also,
Let me
real
s-
quick,
Oh,
can you go back to the previous game, the trailer, and read the two top comments?
Fair games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get there. What do we got here? The top 2 comments on the CGI reveal trailer.
I think so, yeah.
All right, we got, when will marketing teams learn that it's
Wait,
better?
no, this is not what I got. What the hell?
Well, it might sort my stuff different. Like, what are the top 2 comments for you?
It was. Thanks to all our players,
Yeah,
but
I
we're
see that one.
unfortunately ending support 1 year later vibes. And then you can take the devs out of Ubisoft, but you can't take Ubisoft out of
So
the
this,
devs.
it must be made of prior Ubisoft devs. Dude, that's fucking hilarious. Because honestly, the trailer gives me both of those vibes, like for sure. Like it'll be shut down within a year or two, and that's funny as fuck. Oh, that's good. All right, what other games do I have on my list? Alan Wake 2. Does anyone care about that? Did anyone play the first one?
Yeah, I played the first one. I'm excited for the second one.
I am
The
too.
story sounds cool. Like you switch between like perspectives
Yeah,
or two
yeah.
characters or two main characters. That sounds kind of fire. And I mean, like a good horror game, dude.
Yeah. So,
Too
all right.
bad it's only on the Epic Games Store.
Yeah, that's annoying.
I just
also
don't give a shit anymore. I'll buy it on Xbox
Yeah.
or some shit.
Yeah,
Like,
see, if you can play it on console, I think that's the play. The Epic Game Store
Oh,
only annoys you when you're only playing on PC.
Mhm.
Otherwise, yeah, just buy it on console. You don't even have to deal with it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it looks interesting. Remedy has. I feel like their games lately have been pretty good. Because what was their most recent one? Control. That was pretty good.
Yeah, people like Control.
So
There was some controversy with the port of Control to the Series X or some shit, but like besides that,
Oh,
I don't remember what it was, but it was like something they would upcharge people for some stupid shit to play on Series X. You had to buy the game again or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you bought the game once, now you guys spend like $70 to play it again.
Yeah, they re-released it at a higher price, and there's some dumb shit.
perfect.
Nowadays.
So
It's
this
like that "do it again" meme.
So the one like interesting thing coming out of this game besides the game is that they decided it's going to be digital only and they're going to keep it at $60. So do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I don't care, dude. I'm not buying a physical game unless it's Nintendo.
Yeah. Dude, that I literally bought the physical versions of the Zelda games the other day.
Yeah, I mean, like, they don't depreciate as much. Like, I'm pretty sure I could sell my Breath of the Wild copy from 2017 for like $30-$40 on eBay, maybe. So, like,
Trading in the GameStop.
Or trading, I'm just saying, like,
Breath of
Nintendo
the Wild,
for some reason has like high prices for the
Breath of the
digital
Wild
copies.
used from GameStop is still a $55 game. That shit came out how many years ago?
It's 6 years.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
insane.
much 6 years.
You have to think, like, compared to fucking like other games, they're 2 years old. You get them.
Yeah, it's because Nintendo doesn't put their games on sale. The
Yeah.
cheapest Breath of the Wild has ever been on sale is $55 from Nintendo. Like, that's it. Like, that's why I don't know. Who buys Alan Wake 2 fucking on a disc? What the hell? You also, when you buy disc games these days, you get the fucking download code in the box.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you want to fucking make your own Alan Wake cover, just print out the fucking cover, put it in a fucking Xbox case, you good, dude. You probably saved yourself $70 or $60. Like, well.
Don't forget to make your own manual by hand.
Yeah, or like honestly, like, fucking open up an Etsy store if you think there's that many people that are gonna buy that shit, dude. Sell your fucking Alan Wake 2 manuals.
No, it's been kind of a thing, and they starting to do like more steel books now. When it comes to, like, physical copies, that you have to get, but usually you have to get like the limited edition. Like, it costs an extra $10 or whatever.
And I mean, like, people bring up the
but
game.
They do look kind of cool.
The game, what do you call it? Like, game preservation shit, right? But all these games don't have the fucking games on the disc anymore, anyways. Like,
Yeah, you still have to download them.
that should, like, they're not worth it. Like, then they don't preserve games anyways. They haven't for a long time. You know what I mean?
Ever since like the Xbox One, like what is that, the 8th generation? Yeah, it's like
that's like what, 10 years ago.
Yeah,
they haven't been preserving the games on disc.
You buy a disc and then you take it home and you have like a fucking 30 gig update to be able to play the game. It's like sick. Thanks, guys. glad I bought the physical version. But alrighty, let me see if I had any other games on my list of stuff that interested me. Did you guys ever play the first Ghost Runner?
Yeah. Wait, is it the sci-fi game with the sword?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. Here, you can look at it.
Let me see.
It's this. There's a Ghost Runner 2 now. You have a little.
Oh yeah, that game was sick, dude. What the hell?
Yeah. So there's a second.
It's just like a parkour fast fluid combat game.
Okay. Yeah, I never played the first one.
Like, you just jump, you like dash, and then you slice up some enemies. There's like some puzzles and shit, and the first one you were inside this giant cyberpunk city complex that was like one big building, but like ginormous and shit, and you work your way up. It was sick. Yeah. The gameplay is fun. Yeah, you grapple, it's just fluid movement. It's like Doom, you just run around, slice up shit. Pretty good game, the first one. And if I remember right, the first one wasn't full price, and I wonder if this one is full price.
I think the first one was like $40 or something.
Yeah.
But
and I think that was fair. Like, and that was a fair price. So
yeah.
No, it's $30 actually.
30? Oh shit, okay. Nice.
But yeah, if you get a chance to get the first one cheap, you should definitely play it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's one of the only single player games, or one of the few single player games I played.
So rare you can barely even pronounce it.
Yeah. Unlucky.
Unlucky.
Single player? What are those?
Unlucky indeed. All right.
Unlucky.
Well, I think, Jared, did you have any other games that interested you? I think that's my list. If anyone else has one.
Not really. I don't think we need to talk about Final Fantasy, and I don't know. Everything else is just kind of.
Wait, what about Five Nights at Freddy's Help 1 to 2?
Yeah, that did nothing for me. But yeah, there's a new Final Fantasy game coming out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's the new Street Fighter game, which apparently is reviewing like super well. That's kind of cool.
Dude, I downloaded the demo. I clicked on accident. I clicked on the world tour, right, which is like the character creation story mode or some shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that. I just wanted to look at the characters, play the gameplay, right? So I closed out the game, and then when you boot up the demo again, it just puts you back into the fucking character selection or character creation. So I just uninstalled it.
Perfect.
But hey.
So the new Street Fighter is like open world, isn't it? So how does that work?
Every game needs to be.
Oh, you run around and fight people.
I mean, you
is
probably just run up to people and fight them. I don't know.
Does it like load you into like a? I kind of want to try it. Like I don't even like fighting games, but I'm just like intrigued to see what the fuck, like how they implement that. But,
I mean, I could imagine it could just be a hub world, like where you go between fights. Does that make sense? But you can run around.
oh yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
But like,
think
I don't know
there's
for
stuff for you to
sure.
collect.
I just feel like,
Boxes to break.
yeah.
Usual
Gotcha.
stuff.
Yeah, but it is like I saw a tweet that basically like Capcom's been killing it lately. Like a lot of their games have been reviewing like super well with like the Resident Evil remakes and stuff, and then
Yeah,
this I
they
think
make
got
good
like a
things.
90 or some shit. So like they're on a Capcom's on a weird roll because I feel like we don't like Capcom doesn't get like talked about as much when it comes to like the super storied publishers, but they've kind of been doing their thing.
Yeah, they're on the redemption arc. They probably got
Mhm.
Monster Hunter coming next, I'd assume.
Fuck it, why not? But alrighty, all right. Jared, you gotta talk a little bit about the new Final Fantasy game because I haven't played a Final Fantasy game since the fucking MMO, so I don't even know what this
Well,
one's about. But
I guess I'll put it this way. Final Fantasy for a long time has kind of, outside of the MMO, it's kind of been a downhill slope to me. A lot of people didn't like the 13 series, like 13, 1, 2, and 3. Final Fantasy 15 I played through. It was, the combat was okay. It was kind of like a little too autoplay at times. The open world was super boring and unnecessary to even be that big. And it's just like, I don't know. It's like they can't decide exactly what direction they want to go in. Obviously, then they remade Final Fantasy VII or the first part of it. That done great. And now they're doing this. And I am beyond excited for this game because the guy who directed the combat in Devil May Cry 5 did the combat in this. So I know the combat's going to be stellar just off of that. And from everything I've seen from the story perspective and the way they're approaching it, he didn't want to do an open world. It's like semi-open worlds. It's like section off. Like you're in this little area. There's a few things to do. Then you got the next area. Because he said, if I tried to make things open world in this game, the quality of everything you do would go down and there'd be too many tasks that would be meaningless. Like he had a very specific idea of how he wanted to craft this game, and I'm just looking forward to seeing how he tells the story. And I know the story like jumps between time periods, I believe, like when you're younger, when you're a little bit older. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. The only thing that kind of bumps me out is that you only play as one character. Like you have party members that join you, like other Final Fantasy games, but you don't get to control any of them. I think you can give your dog commands that's by your side, but outside of that, it's pretty much just you're controlling one character. But I think it's going to be another 90 probably rated game and higher. Like it's the streak of games right now this year have been out of control, and this is just another one to throw on the game of the year list dartboard. Like, okay, here's another contender. Let's see who wins this time.
yeah, no, this year, if you don't care, like if you like single player stuff, this year's been a fucking banger. Like there's
Does
been-
anyone here own the Final Fantasy VII remake on PC?
I do. I have not played it though. It's the
You own it
only
on
thing
Steam?
I haven't played. I do have it on Steam.
Dude, you should do the family sharing with me because I want to play it. But I don't want to pay like $70 or whatever for it.
Hey, we're fellow podcast hosts. Like we're basically
Yeah.
family.
yeah, I mean, come on, it's the BXR family, dude.
So, yeah, give me your Netflix account while you're at it.
So
Yeah, and you can
is-
play all the weird hentai games I have on my Steam account.
Perfect.
You know what? I'm perfectly fine.
Jared, so like if someone was to just jump into like a Final Fantasy game, do you need to play the other fucking like 10,000 of them?
No.
You just hop into one of them and you're fine.
Yeah, you just hop into them. Like they all share like elements, like monsters. Like this big monster's name is Odin, and this is Ifrit, and stuff like that. Like they share monsters across multiple games, and some characters like there's a mechanic known as Sid. He's in multiple games, but they're like not really related to each other. It's just like a different iteration of him. Kind of think like Doctor Who in that sense. So it's just like you can jump into pretty much any of them and you'll know what's going on for the most part. Like there's no weird story continuation in them.
Okay.
But 7 is probably the best one to play, right? The remake.
I mean, I haven't played it yet, but I just
That's what I
No,
keep
but
hearing
like,
about. Everyone
isn't
kinda
7
gushes
like
over
the best
7.
one? Yeah. And then the remastered is supposed to be really good too. I played the
Yeah.
remastered a little bit, but I have it on PS4 and I want to play it on like PC and not set up my PS4.
See, that's why I haven't really played it on PC yet, because I don't think it's gonna run on my PC
Oh,
very well.
unlucky.
I bought it. I'm like, oh shit, this was a bad idea.
Unlucky indeed, dude. What are you doing? All right.
But-
Well,
I've been seeing a good amount of Final Fantasy. I mean, this would be like the first one I've ever like really paid attention to, mainly just because like it's a lot of work related stuff. Like I think we're going out to Summer Games Fest, and we're kind of like going along with the Square Enix team to like cover their event and stuff like that, and just kind of go like, this is why Final Fantasy 16 is so cool, kind of stuff.
yeah, Kevin's not required to pay attention to all the big games, dude. He doesn't have a choice
Kevin's
anymore.
not-
Which,
Kevin's
by the way, I
not
don't know
games
if you guys have any questions you want to, if you think of a good Final Fantasy question to ask like some of the voice actors, let me know.
What about like I just come up with a question and then you put like a fake Twitter handle and then you just ask the Diablo devs?
Oh god, that was so stupid. I don't know what they
Wait,
were
what just
thinking with
happened?
that. The Diablo devs made fake handles, or whatever the people who did that interview made fake questions with fake Twitter handles and answered them.
Oh,
With
oh my
questions
god!
no
So
one
people
would
actually like went,
ask.
yeah, people actually like so went back like, who is this person? You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
They
like,
have, like-
oh, they don't exist.
They just ask
They actually have,
themselves
like-
some questions.
they actually just have like the egg profile picture from like.
So
Well,
they,
and then people who watch the show like, oh, these Twitter handles don't exist. All right, let's go make them exist and do some outrageous shit with them. So
perfect. Yeah, so technically, they said that they used fake usernames to be anonymous, but we have like no way to check that. So either they're anonymous names to so people didn't get looked up, or they're fake questions. Whatever narrative fits your boat better.
I mean, if you ever have any questions, like pre-recorded, like dev questionnaire kind of thing, especially with the devs themselves, like it's all pre-recorded stuff. Like they're not gonna be trying to like get them on the spot, like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
kind of
for
question.
sure.
It's all scripted, like to get just it's all meant to promote the game. It's all yeah.
Pink
I don't really
said
fault them for
people
doing that.
checked and they don't exist
Oh,
under
yeah.
any handle. So
yeah, because you can type in the exactly
exact
what
tweet.
was typed
Yeah.
and it doesn't exist. So yeah.
Oh, they actually just
Perfect.
they actually just typed it up,
they just
like on a rash thumbnail.
made their own question. Oh yeah, dude. That's how you do it, dude.
It's so stupid. Who thought that was a good idea? Just to remove the usernames and like it wouldn't be any like it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Like
just,
if they
have
didn't
just, like,
show the
question-
fake usernames and said these are from Twitter users, right? And they didn't show
Yeah.
anyone's like it would have been like maybe less obvious. I guess people still would have found
Yeah.
out. But
You
like
just say they're questions from the community, and then you
Yeah,
just ask them
right.
yourself, and then you just put the subtitle down below. Like you don't need to make it look like it's from Twitter. But I'm excited for Diablo though. I'm definitely gonna be.
Comes out soon.
what the hell
right?
game are you showing?
Yeah, I can't wait my
This is
$100
Cameo.
purchase to allow me to play early in 2 days.
So Hayden
Pre-order
in
at
chat,
GameStop, you get the steelbook and lithograph. Just saying.
Hayden in chat
Oh,
asked if
God.
I ever played Cameo, and I vaguely remember this weird ass 360 game where you were like a fucking flying.
This
fairy
needs a
RPG.
sequel
No, it doesn't.
remade.
This does
Yes.
not. This is
This
exactly
is
what
what
Xbox does.
Xbox
No, this is what they don't.
Wait,
need.
this is what this kind of fucking make it so the next Halo won't be good. I'm calling it now. The Cameo 2.
Think of the
Holy
fan art.
shit.
There you go.
But God, yeah, no, we don't need this game. But yeah. So I think that kind of wraps up the PlayStation showcase. Diablo comes out soon, like you said, Kevin. I played the open beta thingy, and I mean, it's Diablo. If you like Diablo, I think
Yeah.
you'll like it. For me, I like had to do the special pre-order where it was like $90 to be able to play, and I was like, I'm not paying $90 for this, so I will repurchase Diablo when I can buy it on sale or something, because I'm not like dying to play it day one or anything. But I think Jared, you're pretty excited for Diablo, aren't you?
I am beyond excited for this game, and everything I've been hearing, it's actually really good at the end game. So that gives me high hopes. But I'll judge it when I play it.
Oh, yeah. Like
Yeah.
from like when I played the first open beta weekend, I think when I got my code from buying the KFC double stack because I was like, yeah. But I was like, yeah, continue on.
Okay. But
Fuck, I was gonna say something about Diablo.
yeah,
That's all right. Yeah. No, but what I was gonna say. No, yeah, but from when I played, like it just kind of felt like Diablo. I'm like, yep, this is Diablo with better graphics and just like a more like interconnected world. But it still felt like you can just like solo it like you normally do with Diablo. Then like some of like the more public event kind of stuff seemed pretty cool. But of course, with a game like Diablo, you can't really judge it from just first impressions. It's really like how is it in the end game? That's where the game really starts.
Yeah. I will
And-
say
Yeah.
they have been super receptive to feedback. Like I've never seen Blizzard so receptive to feedback than Diablo 4. They've changed so much stuff based on feedback. Like with the dungeons, how you like have one little bat left to kill and like you have no idea where in the dungeon it was, where now the bat will like come to you if it's the last mob. Like little changes like that I think are going to help the game tremendously.
Yeah, it seemed like it's like taking a lot of the learnings from Diablo 3 because when that game launched to where it is right now, like two completely different games basically. And
I
think
also
there's-
enjoyed the lore and the world building in these Diablo games. They're
Mhm.
very nice. So,
Oh, yeah,
and I played the beta a little bit, and it felt like that again.
Well, just
So-
like the tone is so much more like rooted in like Diablo 1 and 2, where like 3 was definitely much more like that WoW cartoony art style in a way. Where like
Yeah.
I think 4 definitely feels more like more of a traditional Diablo art style, to which I'm all about that. Blood and metal.
yeah. All right. Well, fair enough. Why don't we talk about good old fucking? Since we're talking about Blizzard, who's I feel like maybe part of the reason they're so receptive, Jared, is Blizzard has been like on a fucking shit streak, dude. Like, obviously they fucking Overwatch 2 is a literal scam, and the fucking weirdos coping and defending that shit is insane to me. Like,
There's
dude,
people defending that.
Oh, there is.
Dude,
They're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
game dev is hard, guys. Like, there's still gonna be there's still
Oh,
gonna be
God.
some live service story. It's like, no,
but
they literally took a game that I paid for. I paid fucking $40 for back in 2016, where you were supposed to get all the characters. Then they fucking made it a free-to-play game where now I have to buy battle passes because they were supposedly putting out a single player, and then they're like, nah. But
this is what's bad though. Like one of the top Overwatch content creators, he's like top 500 whatever ranked. He's like, I'm done with it. He's like, I hope it does good. I hope everyone who does Overwatch content successful, but he's like, I gotta move on. There's like no future here at all.
yeah.
That's like, oh, that's not good.
I mean, I think Overwatch
Hey.
will still like have a player base just for like. I mean, it's had a player base for a while, and they're still gonna get like live servicey updates for until the player base bleeds out. But like at this point, like Overwatch having some type of revival's done. Like it will never, like in 2016 and 2017 when it was like one of the top dogs. From now until it shuts down, it'll just be another also ran like multiplayer game that the Overwatch people still play, but like nobody else checks out.
I mean, was PvE really that important for Overwatch? Because I always viewed it more as like a multiplayer kind of game.
I mean, it was a multiplayer
mean-
game, but this was supposed to be. They were adding in like a cool, like a legit PVE with like a talent tree.
Like a story.
Yeah, like a
Well,
story.
yeah, like
like
every
And I mean,
character has
like
50
people
abilities.
enjoy the world building of Overwatch. Like the characters all have their backgrounds. There's like CGI cutscenes that are like mini movies, right? That like tell stories. There's a shit ton of comics. So like a single player game would have been very nice.
And if I'm not
From
mistaken,
a
like
world building standpoint.
that was one of the big things that was coming with it being after they rebranded as Overwatch 2. Like that was
Yeah,
one of the
that's-
big.
That's
that was like the
why-
reason they said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the reason. Like, we're branding it so we can make it the free-to-play game that will have a single player later, and then you'll.
Yeah, it seemed like it was just kinda like
even
a-
said you have to pay for the single player again, right? I think.
They charge people early access to the single player. So
Yeah.
what happens to those people that paid for that? They just
I
buy
don't know,
your
hopefully
money?
they get a
Like,
refund.
They'll make it up to them. I'm sure.
No, they won't.
Get a free
Activision,
better pass tier skipped.
Yeah,
Hell yeah,
here's
dude.
a free fucking skin.
Well, that's what
He
it
is
was
a
when
fucking default color skin.
when Overwatch
I
2
like that.
dropped. You got the battle. It was like a package. You got like the battle pass, early access to the PVE, and probably like some fucking currency or something, right? So maybe you just get fucked. You just never get the early access. I don't know, but I wonder if someone could like sue for that if they cared, but definitely don't care enough. But yeah, so Overwatch, literal scam. But hopefully Diablo can put Blizzard back on the right track to doing something productive. I don't know. I personally miss when maybe I don't, because actually Blizzard fucking blows these days. But like when Blizzard used to make a new video game rather than just Diablo 4 will be new, so at least we're doing something. But besides that, they're just milking the same fucking shit. Like, we just get a new WoW expansion. We get fucking a new character for Overwatch. Yippee!
Yeah, but that's the sad part, right?
That's what a lot of developers are doing,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah,
Milking
but it's
their
like
popular.
But Dragonflight
games.
did well. Diablo 4 is gonna do well. It's like they were starting to kind of build a little goodwill again, and now it's gone. Like
Yeah.
everything they were working towards is just nuked.
Yeah. Dude, there's new every time I open Hearthstone every once in a while to play Battlegrounds, and there's always new cards, so at least they're still updating my baby, you know? I'm gonna put in like $200. I'm gonna make a legend run again. Okay.
Just play Battlegrounds with me, nerd.
I played on my phone sometimes, but
Yeah, I played every day. Battlegrounds or Hearthstone's probably my most played game over the last 2 years.
damn. All right. Well, all right. Now let's talk Call of Duty. Fucking Jesus Christ. So Activision is on a speed run. So for the longest time, and maybe not in recent years, but I feel like for the longest time, you know, we memed that like EA was the worst publisher, right? Yeah, I feel like at this point Activision Blizzard has that fucking like, dude, they're so far ahead at being the most dog shit publisher. You have Blizzard just literally doing marketing scams, shipping like the Warcraft Reforged, which literally broke the game, and then you couldn't play the old version of the game. Like, it forced you to upgrade. Then you have the Activision side where now they shut down. So SM2 was supposed to be this like, basically they were taking the MWR engine and kind of making their own remastered MW2 multiplayer. Now this had been kicking around for years and nothing had ever been like publicly playable. Like, you can find like gameplays on their YouTube channel, but they got a cease and desist, which is like one thing. I mean, it sucks, but it was one thing, right? It
also sucks that they waited that long to
for
do
sure.
it.
Then they hit X Labs with the cease and desist, and X Labs, if you don't know, is the modded client for like IW4X, which is MW2. It was Black Ops 3. It was the 6 modded client, which was Advanced Warfare.
It was Ghost, MW2, and Advanced Warfare. Then they shut down their Black Ops 3 client because they were afraid that would get cease and desisted as well.
So that they kind of preemptively shut that one down. So so basically at that point, with this happening on PC and a lot of and on console to a certain degree, basically nothing prior to like MW19 was playable, but just as of like a day or two ago, Cold War is now getting hacked to shit, and if you play it, people steal your IP and fucking like close your game. So you can't play Cold War anymore either. So I think at this point you can literally only play MW2 or Vanguard, which is like fucking insane. Cold War is like a 2-year-old game, and Activision can't even be asked to fucking fix the video game, but they'll sure as hell shut down modded clients that made them playable. And it's like, not that Cold War was part of those clients, but like eventually it might have been, right? And instead we just have a fucking shitty ass, like, we're going to get MW3 this year. Woohoo! We can pay $60 for some maps. And then maybe in a year or two, MW2 is going to get fucking hacked to shit, and that won't be playable anymore either. It's like, dude, Activision gives absolutely no fucks about games preservation. It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, the sky's also blue as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
it's just a bad look. Like, yeah, when you talk about the legality of it, obviously they can do that, but it's just, again, with like the SM2 stuff, the fact that they waited as long as they did to shut that down, I mean, that's just really not a good look.
Cold-blooded.
I mean, a lot of people don't enjoy the new Call of Duty games. You got people that are, I mean, Another thing, like these modded clients, like they offered like a safe way to play these games because, like you mentioned, a lot of the games are in a horrible state, like and just modded and hacked to shit.
Well, most of the old ones, it's called like they can like rat your PC or whatever, and basically due to like a security exploit, they can literally just take control of your PC while you're playing, which is like, I'm not risking my fucking PC to play Black Ops 2. Like, don't get me wrong, I love some Black Ops 2. Well, technically, Black Ops 2 is still playable because of plutonium, but MW2, you like don't go and play that. So I think the only remaining ones that are playable are like the old ones. So you can still play COD 1, you can still play COD 2, and you can still play COD 4. And then you can play the stuff on plutonium, which is like Black Ops 2, MW3, and
World at War.
World at War. So that currently I think those are the only old COD games you can play, and that's if they don't also shut down plutonium.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, people have been speculating that that's coming. Surprised it hasn't happened yet. I mean, if X Labs got shut down, I don't understand.
Isn't
why
there like some kind of legality to it where like isn't some kind of legality to it where if you don't like actively protect their like IP whatever copyright material, that they actually might lose that copyright or something like that?
That's what people always say, but like my counteraction to that is these have existed for years. SM2 was kicking around forever. X Labs has been around for fucking ever. So if they had to shut these down to protect their IP, then why didn't they have to shut them down multiple years ago? That doesn't make any sense. To me, it's purely like a money thing. And so the only thing that I could maybe think is I noticed on the X Labs page, like on their Twitter, they had like a pinned thing for a Patreon. So maybe that like pissed off Activision. I don't know if Plutonium did that. I know at one point Plutonium, like I think would give you copies of the game so you didn't have to buy them. But I saw they said they're changing that, so you'll have to have like a legit version.
Maybe, but it's such pennies on what Activision deals with. I couldn't imagine them even like caring about that, like losing money if they even would. I think
it's not even like losing, like they're losing money because the people that are playing these old clients probably don't care to play the new COD anyways. I don't know. It just kind of sucks. Like, not that I'm like the hugest COD person in the world, but like it just sucks that not only does like live service like actively like shut down games and stuff like that, even these old games that weren't live service games are just becoming like increasingly harder to play. I was trying to play Bad Company 2 last night, which EA is shutting down at the end of the year, but I couldn't even figure out how to get it to work. Like when you buy it on Steam, like it's supposed to give you a key and the key doesn't authenticate, so you can't open the server browser. And I was like trying to Google it, and it basically sounds like EA just stopped caring. Which they are shutting it down at the end of the year, so I guess, more power to them, but I don't know, man. Video games are fun.
I wonder on console, like a lot of these games are still easy to play on console though, like the old CODs and the old Battlefields.
Yeah, but they're all like modded and stuff on console too. Like you run into like hacker lobbies all the time.
Yeah, but not that often, no.
Yeah.
On some of them you have a harder time finding any lobby.
I believe
hacker lobbies all the time in COD 4 on the console.
I believe
maybe in COD 4, but I've played World at War and Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 on console, and I don't think I ran into a hacker lobby. But,
when's the last time you played them?
Earlier this year or late last year.
Okay.
Like
you guys did a Ghost video like last year.
Yeah, we did a Ghost video too. Yeah, I played Ghost on the 360 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. Sometimes we just play on Xbox or we make a video about stuff so we get some footage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it seems to be working on console at least.
I think the issues with Cold War would also affect console, especially because that one's crossplay. So I think people could still
maybe
steal your
yeah
IP
that
and
one sure, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Cold War.
I mean, yeah, I'm not like some stand for Cold War, but
the campaign was good.
It probably would have been better if it had more time. Didn't they have to shit that one out in like 6 months?
I think so. I mean, for that was pretty alright. I liked it better than some other CODs before it. So
yeah.
I think a lot of people like Cold War.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people love that game.
It had tournament mode gunfight. So there we go, dude.
So does MW2 now.
Tournament?
No, just gunfight. Just gunfight.
See, Just gunfight, dude. Get out of here.
All right. I think that wraps up Call of Duty. We can. Why don't we talk about Kevin's favorite topic? We can talk about a little Halo action. Season 4 is coming up. Kevin, how are we feeling?
I mean, Infection's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
You know, it hasn't been confirmed. That it's all but confirmed. Yeah, but it's all been been confirmed for months now at this point. But it should be a good time. You know, we also saw like the new core right recently through a soap ad, which was cool.
Yeah.
And it was like 2020 all over again, man. Feels great.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not a huge Infection guy, so it doesn't like when Infection comes back, I'm like, yeah, sure. I just kind of want something just new to do in Halo. Like I feel like everyone's just so chasing like feelings that we had like when we were in high school like 20 years ago or whatever. You know, like you can only play Team Slayer so many times over, you know.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. So I don't think between now and the Xbox Games Showcase we'll do another episode. So why don't we speculate a little bit? We have a lot of time. What are we thinking? I'm sure everyone saw that stupid fake image of all the stuff that was going to be shown at the Xbox Games Showcase, where it showed like fucking Scalebound, which got shut down like 10 years ago. So I'm sure that baby's coming back. But what do you expect to see from the showcase versus like what do you want to see from the showcase? Because I feel like, at least in my case, like it kind of it's like different.
I expect to see Starfield.
Yeah,
right?
Oh, for sure.
And I expect to see, I don't know, Forza
There'll be
some
like a
form.
10-minute Forza section.
Yeah, like Forza in some form. I do not expect Halo in any form.
We'll get the Season 4 trailer.
I don't
I
don't even think so.
You don't think?
I don't
You don't
even
think
so.
they'll bring it up?
I don't even think so.
Holy
No,
shit.
I don't
Okay.
even think so.
That's pretty
good.
And then that's it. I don't know. I don't think Fable will be shown because that does not seem like there's a product.
What about that fucking glitter thing earlier, Luke?
Yeah, what I could expect is maybe they'll do like some. You know how Nintendo delayed Metroid?
Yeah.
They did like we couldn't do it. Maybe they'll do that. You have the Fable Studios say like, "Hey, we couldn't figure it out. Bye."
We need
a couple more years. Game was gonna release 2028. Now it's 2032. So I don't know.
Yeah. What about Avowed? Hasn't that one been kicking around? Like, shouldn't we see something for that soon?
Wait, what's that?
It's the
That's
the
being made
other-
by Obsidian.
It's the other. Yeah, it's the Obsidian RPG. It's supposed to be like their big one.
Oh, I thought that was. Did it get announced with Fable?
It got announced in like 2020. With Fable, I don't remember.
Because I feel like that's all out another like 3 years as well. Then.
Yeah, probably. I don't know if we're gonna see more. I want to see fucking Perfect Dark, but I feel like Perfect Dark's just getting canceled. Like, I don't know.
Dude, the thing is, I was worried that they're gonna like fuck it up and not have co-op. First
they're
of
just
all,
not gonna have it.
yeah, and that would already fucking suck because that would kind of ruin the whole game. But I don't know, dude. It looked so
Perfect Dark
interesting.
gameplay would be pretty sick. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
And the boomer in me would just lose their shit.
But like, wasn't there trouble at the studio as well? So like, I don't expect.
Like a bunch of the heads left or something. It's a whole fucky.
Yeah, we've seen that before. We know how those games turn out.
Will we see Gears? Are we gonna see Gears Collection or Gears 6?
I think
I was
we will
thinking
see
about a
something
Gears collection.
related.
The
That-
big
I
one
think
could be the Gears collection, right?
I feel like Netflix is working on the Gears TV. Like they have to have something kicking around for Gears. Otherwise, why bother with the TV show now? Like
I don't know because they can make money off the TV show as well, Rush. They don't
No,
need
I
to
know, but like
just make money off the video game.
It would make sense to like combo it with a new game or like a new collection or something.
Maybe, but they
Like,
could just make
where
money off
where
the.
is Gears 6? Like, this is like the biggest gap in between like the mainline games that there's ever been.
I don't think 4
I'm
or
so- I'm
5
s-
did super well, so that's probably a reason behind that.
I mean, I
think a
gotta
Gears
assume there's still
collection
a Gears
could be.
6 has got to be coming. I mean,
I would like it. I mean, if
Maybe.
there was like a Gears 1 through 3 collection, you can play it on PC, I'd be like, okay.
When are they
you can
gonna
take my
remaster
$60.
the other games? They started
Yeah.
remastering
They
the first
did
one,
the
and then
first
remaster
one.
the second one or the third one. If they do fucking trilogy remastered, that'd be fucking insane, dude. That would sell.
Yeah, I feel like the Gears collection or like remasters would be really cool for like the single players, but the Gears 1 remastered multiplayer is like fucking dead as shit.
Oh, sure, yeah, I bet.
I just play Gears for the single player.
Yeah, me too. I
Most
always
people
thought
do, yeah.
I always thought people were memeing when they said they're gonna like, play Gears multiplayer. I didn't know that I don't know. Apparently, there's like a leak and stuff that recently got shut down.
Mhm.
Oh, I mean that was like a year or so ago, but yeah, they
Yeah,
shut
yeah,
down
yeah.
all of Gears.
So, like,
the
I was like,
whole
what the
Yeah,
hell?
you'd have to think.
You
You'd
can
have
be
to
a Gears
think
pro.
a Gears collection. A Gears collection would be like easier to do than the Master Chief collection because like the game models are all the same. Like they play so similar. It's like they could just share everything.
They're
between
on
the games,
they're on different versions of
multiplayer-wise.
Unreal Engine though. It's not like the same. It hasn't been the same game the
Yeah.
whole time.
Unless they just put them all in the same Unreal Engine.
Sure, it's like they
if they
just copy and
remastered them.
pasted everything and just like put a new slap of paint on it.
Hey,
They should have AI do it like in the fucking GTA remastered, where it looked like
Oh.
fucking shit.
Oh god.
So I don't even remember this, but Pink Knight brought it up in chat. Apparently it's a game from Rare. It's called Everwild.
Yeah,
It looks like some fucking indie
Everwild.
game. When's this coming out?
Yeah,
What
it's
is
like-
this?
it's it got delayed. I remember them making an announcement video saying they needed more time to work on it, but it's like a shell shaded. I assume some kind of a party system where you help animals out from like this weird shadowness. Like the trailer looks really cool, but I don't know what it's really about. Like you help animals and you use them to help you. Like
look
that's
at
pretty much
those
all the
fucking
trailer
things
does.
drinking water, dude. That's so cute.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Aw,
Like
dude.
it looks
Aw.
like a cool world, but
Dude, Rare has
fuck is
Rare
it?
Rare became such a weird developer. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess they always made like different games, but like you had fucking Viva Pinata, and then you had Sea of Thieves, and then you have this. Like, I don't. Then you had all the
Yeah.
fucking Connect games that Rare made.
Well,
Yeah,
didn't they
like
make a
Perfect
Star Wars
Perfect
Connect
Dark,
game?
and they
Yeah,
also
they
made
did.
Perfect Dark and
Yeah.
GoldenEye.
Yeah, like way back in the day.
Just have them remake Viva Pinata. I'm sure a lot of people would love that.
No, honestly, people loved Viva Pinata, so fuck
I
it.
know.
Why not? Do it. Alrighty.
But
So, do we think? I mean, I'm not console war shit stupid, but when at the end of the Xbox showcase, who do you think wins, Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
I think PlayStation will just win just because Xbox
Yeah.
has just had the string of bad news.
Yeah, what's the Xbox
Some
gonna
people
show
just-
that gets anyone hyped? It'll be pretty
And I
basic
think-
showcase.
I think just like dunking on Xbox has become kind of like a popular trend online now. So you'll start seeing videos of it be like, this showcase was the
Oh
worst
shit,
thing
Kevin!
ever.
My next scripted video is about Xbox. Okay.
Oh
Yeah,
my
can't- we
gosh.
can't-
Redfall
I've been
was
working
not
on it.
that
I've been
Dude.
working on
bad.
it for weeks. We can't meme
You're
on this
so
too hard.
damn
Okay.
predictable.
God
Oh
damn
my
it.
god.
Redfall is game of the
Fuck.
year.
Redfall is really good. Xbox One needs to put out a good fucking game, but also where's id? When's id putting out a fucking game? What Eternal came out? What like?
Let them cook.
I know. I mean, let them cook, but like, I feel like something has to be coming
Well, what-
soonish,
it-
right?
Eternal came out what 2020, wasn't it? Yeah,
I
it
think
was
so. It came out
2020
during
March.
COVID.
Yeah.
When did
2020.
they do the story DLC?
So it's been 3 years. Wouldn't you, if you were talking a 5-year cycle, wouldn't we be announcing something soon?
Yeah, the new what's that?
The new
game
Quake.
called? Rage. New Rage.
Oh, I forgot about
Oh.
Rage 2. Oh shit, dude.
Ooh, never mind. They don't only make good games.
Oh no,
Is that a
Rage 2
thing?
came out in 2019. That came out before Eternal. That's how much I forgot about it. I played the first Rage. I didn't play the second one. The second one was very colorful. The first one like felt like they thought like they had like half of a good game and then the rest of it just sucked.
But wasn't that last release Quake Champions? So
Id? No,
Yeah.
Quake Champions came out before Eternal. But Quake Champions was also
No.
developed by someone else.
the full
I-
version came out last year.
Yeah.
Like the early access ended
oh,
last year.
fuck. Okay, okay. If
I
we're
mean,
going by that
This
logic.
guy.
They finished the game, dude. Now they can work on some other shit. That's all I'm saying.
Alright. Quake Champions was in early access since like 2018, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure someone else like developed most of Quake Champions. Like it wasn't the main id team, which is like why people speculated it kind of sucked or missed the mark, you could say. But all right, well, I think that kind of.
Do you think we'll see? Like, I'm curious. Do we think that we'll get? I know Luke already talked about. Do we think we'll get anything Halo related?
I think we'll get the season 4 trailer. I think that's it.
Halo 3
Mhm.
anniversary.
I wish. I fucking
Whoa.
It
wish.
was in the leak. I mean,
It
you
was in
never
the
know.
leak.
Hey, I
It
mean,
was in the leak.
It
I'll
makes sense,
fucking
right?
do some shit on the next podcast if that's true.
I think either we'll get nothing or Tatanka.
Tatanka.
Everything I've heard is I don't think we're getting to Tonka anytime soon.
Yeah,
but
I don't expect it. So I'm not expecting anything. Just saying
yeah.
that's either a home run or just like stay home.
yeah.
Wait, I
don't
mean,
know.
does this look that wrong?
Oh, here, I'll pull this up. This is like a different. This isn't the meme image. I just found this on Google, but this doesn't have very many. This doesn't.
Because
Have
I
very
didn't see the
many
meme
views.
image.
The meme image has like way more shit that seems fake. This seems more likely, but I don't know what's some of this stuff. Like what's Exoprimal?
That's the
We're gonna find out.
Capcom game. That's coming out
Oh,
next
it was in
month.
beta like a little bit ago.
Yep,
Yeah,
they
okay.
had a
Yeah.
few
I
days
know.
beta.
Yeah. Okay. What is Winged? Is that like an indie game?
Probably. Looks like it.
Sounds like
I've never heard of
some
it.
kind of like
I-
relaxing
I do wanna
flying
say-
game or something.
I do think we'll see Hellblade 2.
Wait, why does this
I
image
really
have
do think
Jet
we're
Set
finally gonna
Radio?
see
Are they
that.
bringing that? Is that coming back? No.
Wait, yeah,
If
wasn't it?
so, count me in.
I mean, Jet Set
Wait.
Radio was sick, but there's no way they're bringing it back, right?
Uh-huh.
No.
I don't think so. But all right. Well, are you guys excited for Starfield? Like, do you think it'll be good?
I think it will
Ah.
be just
I
fine
enjoyed-
because the
Alright.
people who made 76 are not the main team that made the other Elder Scrolls games, and
Yeah.
Fallout games. So
I
I'm
have
not
my
worried.
concerns. The game's been delayed an entire year by this point, and knowing it's a Bethesda game, I just feel like I just don't have high hopes for
Kev, it's
It
16
working.
times the space.
exactly. That makes me more concerned. Just 16 times the more places to mess it up.
That's funny. Chad is telling me they've confirmed a reboot for Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi.
That's what I thought.
Crazy
too.
Taxi again? Oh my god, yes.
Oh man, that's cool.
You just
Yeah.
heard a Class C license.
How do you bring
Yeah.
Crazy Taxi back though? Like, I mean, it was fun.
Battle Pass live service?
Oh,
You call it
please.
Crazier Taxi.
Please.
Battle Royale.
Do you guys
And-
remember?
Dude,
do you
actually, a
remember
Battle Royale Crazy Taxi would be kind of fire. Not gonna
Fucking
lie.
hell.
Didn't
Do-
Forza have a Battle Royale at
Yeah,
some
it
point?
did. It sure did.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Do you guys remember like The Simpsons Hit and Run?
Dude,
Which was
that
like-
game was sick.
that
That
game
one
was
YouTuber
so
is
fun.
remastering it. There's a YouTuber remastering it
really?
in like Unreal Engine. Yeah,
Oh,
I keep
that's
watching.
sick.
Like he posts like updates every now and then, and I watch them like little mini documentaries
That's
with docs
cool.
or whatever.
No, that game was dude, there's so many like cool games back in the day that like I put a bunch of times. Waffle says Kevin jokes about live service, but read the article on the Jet Set Radio reboot. This doesn't give me high hopes,
Oh,
Waffle.
no.
Post
you
the
fucking
link, but
dare ruin that
what
game.
the fuck, dude? That's not good. That's not good.
Oh man. You can buy these rollerblades.
All right, so
Oh my
basically,
God.
I think we get the new Quake and it revives the arena shooter. What do you guys think?
No.
Dude, I don't know if you can bring something back from the dead. Dude.
I can't even envision like a new Quake where they go heavy into multiplayer. Like I feel like at this point they'll just doom it and it'll become like a single player thing.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
That'd be
That'd be
fun.
interesting seeing that
All
world.
right,
again.
here we go. Sega is reportedly rebooting Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio. The titles are
Did I actually call it?
Jesus fuck.
Ah.
This is disgusting. What in the fuck?
Evil laughing twos.
Oh my god, dude. I mean,
That
like,
disappoints me.
there are like certain games that live service makes sense for, but like, why are you taking like old fucking titles like this and live servicing them? Like, it doesn't even.
Oh my god.
Oh, they're gonna be free to play. Ooh.
Oh god.
Yeah, okay, close. This is.
Just hitting all the keywords.
Oh my god, Sega. I
Dude, it
think
sounds like-
You
it
know,
sounds like
you
they're
know,
trying
it's
to-
gonna be some shit if it's free to play, dude.
Oh my
It
god.
sounds like they're trying to hit like you get YouTube views hitting all the keywords and like in the
Jesus,
right there.
dude. I think we missed the boat on what made those games special. Sega's also working on here. We'll pull it up since I have this fucking up. I think this is coming out this year, right? The fucking Hyenas game that I played.
Dude, that game looked wild.
So Luke has seen some early
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's true. Luke never saw it.
No,
So
I
this is
never
like
saw anything. I just
this is
heard the
like a
rumors.
weird team extraction shooter thing where you can play as Sonic. It's fucking weird.
And Knuckles, and Tails, and
Yeah,
Amy.
but they're all the same character. They're just skins for the one guy.
Like they're
Oh,
like
what?
they're like bodysuits. They're like just like a zip up a full bodysuit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird fucking game. I don't know, but I would assume this is coming out this year. It's supposed to be like a free to play thing. I don't know.
Hey, I'll try it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try. I mean, I did. Yeah.
They'll get one download out of me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an okayish premise, but I think this gives me the same vibes as the Division extraction shooter, where like at the end of the day, it's just gonna be like, remember when we were like deep in the battle royale craze, where every game was a battle royale, and then like a couple years later, most of those games shut down. That'll be Hyenas and the Division Heartland. Like, I just don't. Maybe they'll do something that surprises me. Hyenas won't, but maybe the Division Heartland will do something like crazy. But I feel like most likely they'll just kind of come and go, and we'll forget about them in a couple years.
Top comment will be, this has like the thanks for our place for playing, we're shutting down vibe 1 year
Dude,
later.
oh my god!
I'm predicting it.
I need a new text. Wall of text.
Yeah. Who's dropping the next wall of text? Let's speculate on that.
Oh my
Let's
God.
speculate on that.
Dude,
Who could it
alright.
be?
I feel like we closed the podcast on this beautiful image from the Golem devs.
Yeah. We'll get another one. You're saying?
Oh my god! What?
Yeah,
the-
what about the
We didn't know the game was bad.
thing where they misspelled the fucking franchise
Yeah,
they're making a video game?
the
for?
Lord,
Yeah.
The Lord of Rings.
I mean, for God's sakes, they charge for language in the game. Like, come on. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah, lore accurate dialogue they charge.
We didn't
for.
know people would dislike this. Really?
Well, dude,
Okay.
even the shitty monetization aside, like I'm not gonna play this game. I'm not subjecting myself to paying for it. But like the videos that I watched on it, the game just looks fucking terrible. Like
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
know.
so happy I didn't review
Moist
this.
Critical's playthrough is kind of funny. He finished it, I think, today.
He got through the
Yeah,
whole
I
game,
watched
dude.
some
Oh,
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just like.
what a legend.
Oh yeah, I watched Skillow's video on that one. I'm like, this is like the most.
Yeah,
like,
this sucks
this is
because
like-
Daedalic Entertainment makes good games. They've made
What if-
awesome games in the past.
What have they made?
Like the Ponya trilogy and like it's point and click adventures. They're
Oh.
very small
really, There
studio.
was something really prominent that they made.
I've
back in
actually
the
talked to the
game.
founder before once, like years
Why not
ago when
make-
they were very small. But
Why not make a point and click Lord of the Rings adventure? I feel like
yeah,
that
I don't know. They
work.
would have been like the point and click adventures are very fucking cool. They're like the inspired by like Monkey Island and Day of the Tentacle and shit like that, right?
I have not played a single game. Oh, I remember this game. I got it in the Humble Bundle.
Yeah, that one is
Oh,
sick
yeah.
too. Edna and Harvey.
Yeah. It was good, yeah. I don't know. Most
And
of these I've never played.
funny thing, these people were like this studio got popular because like the biggest German Let's Play YouTuber made videos on their games, and the videos got like millions of views before nobody knew these games. So that's how they got famous, I guess.
That's funny.
And now they're making shitty Lord of the Rings games, I guess. So I guess they fell off.
what a downfall. Are we getting another Wolfenstein game, or are those just done? Because
No, we're getting one, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, that's got to be coming soon, then, right? Because the last
An announcement, yeah.
Wolfenstein, like New Blood, came out a while ago, didn't it?
Right, that was a different studio too.
Oh, okay.
I think.
The co-op game was pretty mid waffle, but the original, or not the original, but like
The co-op game was alright.
yeah,
Like,
it was whatever. But the other games,
but I
were
think that
good.
the game was developed by a different studio.
Okay.
And then they had
Yeah,
the VR game, right, the same year. And
Oh,
I mean,
they
I
did
assume.
have a VR game that I forgot about.
I mean, like, just because the last one was developed in 3 years doesn't mean like this won't take longer.
So
I
we
don't know.
had the New Order in 20. Oh, here I don't have the thing. We had the New Order in
Yeah.
2014. We had the Old Blood in 2015. Then we had
Which
the
was a
new-
standalone DLC, right?
yeah,
So-
yeah. And then we had Colossus in 2017. And then you had Young Blood, which was the co-op thing, which was made by Arcane and Machine Games, and it shit the bed, dude. I bet this was the same fucking Arcane studio that made Redfall. Someone shut that studio down. Arcane Austin's gotta go, dude. We're 0 for 2. Oh, they're working on the Indiana Jones game too. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
Wait, Machine Gun or
Machine
Arcane?
Games is Arcane.
Okay,
Isn't.
holy shit.
No.
Okay, okay.
Well, so what main Arcane studio has to be working on something, right? Because Redfall was made by Arcane Austin. So
Yeah.
like the last main Arcane game was it Deathloop or was it Prey?
I want to say it was Deathloop.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah,
Deathloop.
definitely.
Okay, I didn't know if Deathloop was Arcane Austin. I hate when studios have sub studios, but then they like still brand the games.
Wait,
as...
Deathloop was Arcane Lion or Leon, whatever.
That's the main one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's a Swedish studio.
Oh, I thought it was fucking in France. What the hell?
Am I wrong? Holy shit.
Well, there's
No,
a city in France called Lyon.
Oh,
and
you're right.
They have
You're
a
right.
football club.
Sorry. I'm thinking of a different company.
Oh, okay.
My bad. What's the one game you guys want a sequel to be announced for? Sequel or continuation, says Waffle.
Halo 3.
Halo 3 anniversary or just Halo 3? They just re-release the
I
game.
want a Halo 3 too.
I mean, I've been saying I want a new classic Halo game for years, but I feel like these days people just flame you when you say that. They're like,
No, I'm just kidding. Halo can die. It can rest.
You know
It's fine.
They can announce a remaster or a remake of Banjo and Kazooie, and I would. Be
Okay.
down for that.
Here's what happens. Marathon makes so much money for Bungie that they buy themselves free again, and then they buy the Halo IP from Microsoft. That's how
Oh.
much money Marathon is
Hey.
gonna make.
You might be onto something. They made Marathon, they made Halo, they made Destiny. Now they're back to Marathon.
Yeah. Hey,
They're also
that's
big
yeah. They're just doing a cycle.
Yeah.
And then they will do another Destiny. But
I like where you're going with
also, that's probably more likely than us getting a fucking good Halo game in the future. So
Honestly.
The Bungie makes Halo 3 Anniversary. There you go.
yeah, the
jeez.
I mean, I'll be
Sheesh.
60 by the time that happens, but you know.
hey, we'll stay at the same
We'll be like
retirement home
50, it's fine.
and then play it on launch day.
True.
Yeah. Alrighty. I think that wraps up the podcast. Pop Q. What do you? I saw lately you've been diving back into the random videos that come to your mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like them,
Yeah.
but just,
No,
yeah.
I think my next video is a marathon video. I want to talk about that. Got some things to say. Yeah, I don't know where we go from there. We just wait till marathon. Become a
I mean,
marathon YouTuber.
Dude, fair enough. I think we all should be. I think even Luke should be a marathon YouTuber. Think of the things you and Elijah could do, dude.
I mean, I already know like a little bit about the lore and shit. So
Yeah, see, the possibilities are endless.
hey, now they just need to make a good game. It's not up to me right now. It's up to Bungie.
That's true.
And I can make good content if they make good games.
That's true. You just think about the potential, dude. You'll have an actual player base that plays the game.
Yeah.
That would be feeling
Wait,
weird.
what the hell? What's that feel like?
How do we feel about the operator Fenrir, Luke?
Dude, I don't know. I thought he was shit, and I still think he should have played him a little bit. I don't know. I don't think Ubisoft's gonna release another OP operator anytime soon. After Zami, but I don't know. I think he's weak and too easy to play against, but I haven't tried him that much yet, so I can't 100% say. Maybe I'm missing something. But when I had a Fenrir on my team, they were absolute dog shit. Which also just my teammates are absolute dog shit, so I don't know if it was the character or I don't know, dude. I try really hard.
Don't
Dude.
over peak.
I over peak, win all my peaks. It's just like the other ones don't.
You're just crack like that, I guess, dude.
I mean, dude, there's so many games where I go 16-4, and then like we lose in double overtime or some shit because my teammates like I don't know, dude. I just can't.
All right. Well, Luke, what are you up to these days? What should people look out for?
Beach and our Sonic content. So look out
Fair
for that.
enough. Jared, what are we up to these days?
I don't know yet. Probably
Alright.
Diablo 4, maybe Street Fighter, and then Final
Aren't you
Fantasy.
gonna start streaming?
Yeah, most likely next weekend is when I start. if I'm not working.
Well, you work 24/7, so
I was gonna say.
this stream's probably not
I
happening.
feel like you're like one day away from like losing like half your body. It seems like half the time
Hey,
you're
next
like, yep,
week-
lost.
Yeah, guys, a little update today. I lost my leg. I have
I'll
a
be
pec
very
leg
high
now.
up in the air for a very long time, so we'll see what
Lost my
happens.
leg, but I still
God.
got my thumbs. We're streaming tonight, boys.
Oh yeah, I don't care if
Holy
I'm
shit.
paralyzed. I can move that controller stick.
Fair enough. All right, Kevin, what are we up to these days?
Keeping up with the Halo stuff, and I did make a marathon video, which actually did all right for itself. For
There's a
being
crossover audience there, Kevin. Don't
all right,
let it. I mean, obviously, like it's gonna be a while before you can make consistent marathon videos, but
Yeah.
I would definitely dive down that venture because a lot of Halo fans are just Bungie fans. So maybe
exactly, yeah.
once the game comes out, there might be like a separation, but especially
Yeah.
toward like the launch, I think there'll be a lot of crossover between the two fan bases.
Eventually, once we're like in our 40s, and then just like worried about 401ks, then we'll like the marathon will finally launch, and we're like, well, we can finally be YouTubers.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But yeah, other than that, keep up with the Halo stuff and just kind of waiting around for when season 4 news starts to drop, or we get some more soap leaks or something.
Yeah. All right, we used to do this
Mhm.
every Halo update. What do we think
Mhm.
season 4 does, boys? Does it do anything for the population?
No, it does nothing.
No, but I feel like it will start it'll be the turn of general sentiment about the game, because we're still like in that mindset. I feel with Halo being like long times between seasons, right? Like
Yeah.
once we get this season come out, be like, hey, there actually is like a new bit of content within a reasonable amount of time. That's crazy,
Yeah. I think it's just
But,
too late. It's too late for
I'm just-
sentiment to matter.
Yeah, I'm just more focused on work right now, honestly, and like just trying to do the best I
Yeah.
can with that. Especially like the upcoming weeks, we got some big stuff coming around, like going to the Diablo launch event, and then I'm going to New York City for the Diablo release at a GameStop that we're doing over there, and then back to Los Angeles for Summer Games Fest. So I really want to try to focus on that and knock that out.
Yeah. Fair enough.
No question. Is this the most disinterested like we've all been in Halo? Because it is for me.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. It
Easily.
probably is.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think, like I said, like I think there really isn't any like all the experiences that they're doing with Halo are all things that we've played a million times over 20 years ago. There's just nothing really any cool, new, exciting thing to get people excited about playing Halo, unless you're like a diehard Halo fan. You're like, thank God they brought back, I don't know,
I mean, I do think many
some
people
obscure
would
map
abso-
from CE.
I just
I think
look at it
many
this way.
people would still enjoy those old experiences today. Absolutely, because I know I can still play some classic Halo. I know others are in the same boat, but a lot of people
Hey,
want
at
to
least
new
you can play
classic
classic Halo, unlike Call of Duty fans. So you should be fucking
Yeah.
grateful.
That's true.
True, until they announce the COD MCC collection or whatever they call it.
Call of
I
Duty
feel like if
collection.
COD
COD
does it, it
sub.
has to be like studio or like sub-series specific. There's no way you jam every COD game into one fucking package. Like it'd have to be like
Black
all
Ops
the Modern
Remastered.
Warfares or like all the Black
Yeah, the
Ops or
Modern
something.
Warfare.
We'll probably see all the COD games coming to Game Pass, like maybe PC Game Pass and maybe
Dude,
Xbox Game
unless
Pass.
they fix them, you can't put those on Game Pass.
I mean, that's what
like,
I'm saying. Maybe that's
Yeah.
the plan too.
Okay, yeah. I guess if they
Or they could come to console Game Pass for sure.
you could do
Like,
that.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of maybe what forced 343 to fix MCC, maybe, you think? When
Game
they wanted to
Pass?
put the game on Game Pass, they're like, well, we need to make sure this game works.
Yeah.
I feel like MCC got fixed because they needed some good sentiment.
Maybe, but that was like a lot of time and effort and money that went into it.
Well, they also
just,
were
like-
releasing it on PC. They also made a lot of money from MCC. Let's not act like it was just out of the goodness of their heart. Like they did fix it, and then they sold it to us. So
Yeah.
like, and it
we have to
wasn't.
I guess it- I guess
we
it
have to
was
thank
cheaper
Halo 9
to-
for that.
It was cheaper to just fix that and then sell it again than to make a new good Halo.
Halo Online walked so MCC could run.
Oh, Jesus. All right. I think that's going to wrap up the podcast, my fellow podcast listeners. I'll probably have a main channel video out next week on Xbox. I'm workshopping thumbnails, guys. I'm trying to make an Xbox look really lost, all right? That's the goal here. So All right, I think that's going to do it. We'll be back. I think the next podcast will probably be after the Xbox showcase, so I think we'll have a lot to talk about then. It should be pretty fun because we'll also have all the other showcases in the meantime. I don't really know if we'll get much from them, but we'll have them. So I think after the Xbox showcase, the plan is to try and make these things a regular thing again, like every 2 weeks. I'll try and make sure I'll either gather the boys or the boys that are around, and we'll hop on. And I think in between like major game stuff, we'll try and just tackle like random fun topics that just dive into, similar to how we did like the worst games or like the best games and stuff like that. So stuff like that that's a little more I don't know if evergreen's the right term, but not necessarily just talking about current topics, but when there's like big showcases and big games and stuff, we'll definitely still talk about those. But alrighty, I think that will do it. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
AI Drake's the best Drake.
That is true.